is it you pray for?
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 48th episode of Abyssal Musings. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and with me are my lovely co hosts. Know me without you.
Hi, I was expecting you to play that little rock band intro of like Ryan, Amira, Kat, just kind of rocking it out.
I don't actually have that one uploaded separately. It is stitched into the SITV opener, but
Okay, so I
the
got that one confused. But I wasn't expecting that, so I was like bobbing my head, as like ready for the music.
nope, this is
But
the short one. Although I do have some plans in the works to add to this one because it is only about 3 seconds long. So
okay, but hi, chat. I'm happy to be here and stream.
greetings, and longtime collaborator and good friend Lawrence Knight.
Hey guys, how are you going? How are you going? How are you doing tonight? How
It's
are you
been a
going?
night. It's
Yeah,
been a
how are
night.
you going?
You know what? I would ask Larry how you're doing tonight because I went back to so I missed most of the beginning of Ryan's show tonight because I was in the middle of some other stuff, as explained on that show. But I just went back and listened to that opening statement that you had prepared.
Me?
What the? Oh, Larry.
Oh,
When he came in and he said that he's there definitely of his own free will, and there's definitely not a
oh.
hostage situation going on. He's definitely not picking cotton. That was wild, man.
I was just doing a hold on. I was just doing a disclaimer to make sure that my good friend Ryan was not accused of any
Like
racial
100%.
shenanigans of
He's
any
doing it
kind.
again.
I know.
Oh yeah. That was gold, man. That was comedy gold. Ryan was barely keeping that shit together. It was pretty funny. So how are you guys doing? Glad to be back for another week, another episode.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy to be here with you guys. It's been a week. Got through it. Been drinking my Starbies. Um, Earlier, I think I got Larry in trouble in the FNR chat where I said there. I was telling a story that a while back there was a black man that approached me and said, "That's what I'd like to see—a black woman's ass on a pretty little woman like you." I was like, "Oh, okay." And Larry's like, "That was not me."
Yeah, because I knew everybody was gonna say it. Then my wife sitting next to me, and I was like, "Oh Lord, okay." I was like, "Oh man, okay, here we go."
That. I missed
Because
that
I
part
knew
too. I'm gonna have
everybody
to
was
listen
gonna
to the
look at
episode.
me, and I was like, "It was not me."
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, I was there for so some of you may recall a couple of months ago, Nomi told us all a story about a boba tea that tried to murder her. Well, it happened again tonight, live on the air. Ryan's
But you
channel.
guys didn't see it. Yeah. No one paid into watching me drink the tea. So of course I was off camera, but there was definitely ASMR of me dying.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty rough sounding.
Yeah.
But you're good now.
I am good. I have a little cough still, but I'm better now.
Awesome. So let's say hello to the chat first. We have Kohai. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Always. We've got Wookie Be Bad stopping by. We were just on a panel with him on Ryan's channel. By the way, go watch FNR. It was a good one. But don't do it right this second. Wait till we're done.
Yeah, just hang out here with us.
And I see Beak in the chat. Happy
Hi,
Friday,
Beak.
Abyssal Musers. Happy Friday to you too, man. Yeah. So all right. We have a bit of a docket tonight. And if I recall correctly, a few things that we're going to try out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely. We definitely do have some things going on tonight, guys. First, Sam just actually dropped some very good, interesting information on Nomi and I tonight. So I definitely want to go through that first before we do our advertisements, and then uh, tonight we've got some infamous news reports for you guys. I mean, just some crazy stuff that's happened this week, and there's videos on all of them. And I figured, you know what, it looks like it's gonna be one of those nights where we've got just stuff to laugh at and report on. And we've got tonight, we've got something that I'm calling the horror. A lot of you seem to like the quizzes that we do once a month. Well, I stumble upon a way to create your own choose your own adventures games. And so tonight is a test run for that. It's pretty robust. Um, I've edited as much as I could with the time that I could. So I know there's just some misspellings and things in there because I got a little carried away. So we have that, and then we also have the top 5 scariest movies of all time according to IGN. Surely IGN is a reputable source. I mean, they're not non-biased in any way, especially with video games like John Madden Football, where they constantly give 8.0 ratings every year or higher when the game is really like a negative 2.3. So surely their list is just as reliable as their taste in video games.
Okay. Yeah, just I'm ready for whatever lies ahead.
All right. Well, where do we want to start tonight?
Well, before we start with anything, and I know I don't have it in front of me. I wanted to also advertise the movie that we talked about last week. The ones that's crowdfunding. The
Mhm.
name of it escapes
Island in
me.
the Sky? Or
Island in
Island in
That's
the
the
it.
Sky.
Stars? Island in the
Island in the
Stars.
Stars. There you go. You guys look it up, Island in the Stars. You can also look it up on YouTube. Netters Network. They spoke about it last week. Um, it's definitely, we showed the trailer last week. If you guys want to go back and look at it, definitely worth investing some money in. If you guys are into donating to real films, these are people who are they're out to work. You know, they want to earn their living. They're not going on strike and then running to the state and demanding that the state gives them unemployment. You know, because of something that they are willfully doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
indeed. Actually, if you give me just a moment, folks, I will drop the link to the video from uh, Real Deal with Tom Conkle YouTube channel. Tom Conkle being the guy whose brainchild this is. This is his movie. In the chat here, because I think if you haven't watched it, if you haven't gone back to watch it, go ahead and check it out on your time here. But it's it looks like it could be great. I mean, it might not too. Who knows? But we won't know unless we give it a shot, right? You know,
Yeah.
what are they always saying is like, you know, we can complain about all the bad stuff as much as we like, but if we don't actually go out and support new good stuff, then there won't be new good stuff. It'll only be more of the bad. So we are definitely pushing that. I was actually on the Renaissance Nerds channel earlier this week, and I showed it to them there live, and we did kind of a reaction to the trailer there. And then Adam cut it out and set it out as a separate video, which got Tom Conkle's attention, who commented on it, and some other people did, and then Mr. Conkle subscribed to this channel
Ooh. I
after
saw,
that, so that was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yep. So he also did a movie a couple of years ago you might have heard about on Midnight's Edge called Trouble Is My Business, which is sort of a black and white throwback to detective noir movies,
Mhm.
which I believe the whole thing is up on his channel. So maybe give that a watch too, if you're into that sort of thing. So, but yeah, it looks like it could be a lot of good so far. Right now, what they've got for us is some cast interviews and some storyboard stuff, some promo art, and some music, which I believe is going to be in the score, which is incredible. But and right now they're crowdfunding, I believe, for the next like 29 days. I think there's 29 days left in it.
Mhm.
And so they probably need some help getting that up there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
Well,
alrighty. With
best luck to them. I want the best for them.
Yeah, definitely me too. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and read the disclaimer before we get into tonight's business. I saw that, Nomi. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
it's more professional. I worked on it.
I understand.
I was just wondering what that eye roll was about.
Like, okay, like you don't have to, but you probably are right because it can get wild in our conversations.
I mean, if you don't want me to read it, I
That's why I
won't
have to
read it.
like sit back and relax and see where the stream is taking us.
All right, well, this okay. Well, I'll just go ahead. But mostly, I just do it so that YouTube doesn't come around at some point and try to mess with us. Like, no, if somebody was listening and they were underage, that's on them. We put the warning out there. So, warning, tonight's episode of Abyssal Musings is rated infamous by the staff. Although any topics and or videos displayed in tonight's episode is public and easy to find, those with snowflake leanings may find a few of these topics to be shocking. Tonight's topics will be discussed purely for entertainment purposes and are not meant to be hurtful to anyone. After all, we are not savages, we are a knight, a bar fighting, Sparta kicking killer cyborg, and a cosmic Ken doll with tentacles who strive to provide late night entertainment to the public at large. We hope you enjoy our content tonight.
I should probably consider doing something similar for the Star Trek show because it's like 10% Star Trek and like 90% gay jokes. And lately, there's been a lot of rape jokes too.
Oh,
But
Yeah,
we're doing okay so far.
nothing stopped you yet.
I hope not. You better hope some angry woman doesn't go back. 3 years from now, go back 3 years, be like, oh, I
Man,
remember.
the angry woman on the panel makes most of those jokes.
No, you know what they're gonna say. They're gonna say that you forced her to say that, and blah blah blah.
It's
So,
You
not that
guys set that
serious.
joke up and I fell for it. Of course, I went for that
yep,
joke.
yep. Just
Yeah,
like,
I'm not
hey,
worried about
no,
it
I
at
mean,
all.
just like that governor over there in New Mexico. Oh, so the Supreme Court, so they can make choices about my body, but I can't take your guns from you. Okay,
Yeah.
she actually
I
And
said that
mean,
on CNN.
and
essentially, yes.
yeah. And what was it? She's like, it's not for the police to tell me what's constitutional.
Yeah, exactly what she said.
Yes. Yes.
when
Especially
you're
if you're in office. Yes.
when you're on CNN and the CNN host is saying what you're doing is unconstitutional and nobody's listening to you, and you double down on it.
Yep. Just I think she realizes like how much hot water she put herself into, and she's just saying whatever now because she's like, well, you know what, might as well just go with a bigger bang getting out of this
Yeah,
office.
that's much easier than saying, okay, you know what, I made a mistake. Sorry, guys. But
Right.
in any case, Sam, why don't you go ahead and tell us what why don't you tell everybody what you told us earlier?
All right. So I unfortunately can't bring it up on screen right now because of like some ad blocker shenanigans that I'm not taking my ad blocker down. So, I can't get into that there, but I can look it up on my phone. So Screen Rant, who is not particularly reliable in terms of, popular culture news. I mean, they'll bring stuff to your attention, but there's always, how this modern journalism stuff goes. It's usually got a very, very modern politics bent to it. But in this case, I don't think that's the case. So, uh, for those of you who don't know, and I believe this was well, the article was published yesterday. I believe the news was very, very fresh then too. Bill Willingham, who created a comic book series that's very well known called Fables, um,
Hmm.
just released his entire IP into the public domain. All of it. You guys might have heard of a Disney TV show, Once Upon a Time. Kind of a similar concept. Fairy tales stuck in New York trying to survive in the real world. There was a spin-off video game involved, I think it was, what was it called? I don't recall off the top of my head. Werewolf something or other, or Wolf by Night, or something. Oh, The Wolf Among Us. That's it. There was a Telltale game, The Wolf Among Us, and I think actually that was about the big bad wolf kind of thing. So this is kind of his own personal spin on stuff. Anyway, he's been locked into some really disastrous engagement with DC and their parent company, Warner Brothers, over his contract, with disputes, with misinterpretations. Contracts tend to be very vaguely worded, generally to benefit one side over the other, and it kept fucking him over. They owe him money for stuff. They didn't consult him with the. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear that. Who's cussing?
That'd be my brother in the other room. Don't worry about it.
Your brother, who's another Eldritch god.
Right now, he's a very pissed off gamer.
I didn't know
So-
Eldritch gods play games.
Well, we gotta do something until the stars are right. Anyway, that's a little Lovecraft joke for y'all. The one thing that they could never misinterpret, though, was that Bill Willingham owns the IP 100%. It is 100% his, to do with as he pleases. Now, while he's locked into these disputes and this contract and whatnot, which he apparently cannot get out of easily, if at all, he is barred from making any new stuff without basically DC say so. And that includes, like, if the Warner Brothers execs like David Zaslav, whom Joker Voice seems to have all the affection in the world for, decides you can't do this because it doesn't line up with our vision of the thing, then he can't do it. However, by releasing everything in the IP to the public domain, and what, in his words, he says, I can't make movies, I can't make comics without their permission, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
And this is huge. This may start a trend coming on the backs of the WGA strikes and the Actors Guild strikes. Mainstream media is falling apart, and it looks like some of the creators are doing their level best to, how do I put this in a way that doesn't sound like I'm all for anarchy? Set it free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
mean,
I see this as an absolutely good thing. Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of anarchy in everybody. That's just me.
Yeah. So it's a big deal. So yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens with this. I can't wait to see what new products come out in line with this, because I mean, you could do literally anything with the IP. You could make fucking plushies, you can make lunchboxes, you can make little animated cartoons, you could do, the possibilities are endless, and it's open to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And basically his idea was he could not keep it out of bad hands. So this way, at least maybe it ends up in some good hands too.
But my question for this is, won't, as soon as someone else tries to make something using that IP, won't the studio go after them?
They can't.
Because they're not in union, and there's
They
no
don't own the
studio.
IP.
Yeah.
The IP is now in the public domain. They can't do a damn thing about it. They don't own, he fucked them hard.
Yep.
Like, if he were to do anything else, he has to do it in concert with them and with their permission. If they try to do anything with it, they have to do it with his permission, because he owns the IP outright. They don't
Got
own
it.
any of that.
Got it.
Except
But
now he doesn't own the IP. Now everyone does.
now everybody does, and
Mhm.
Fable is, whew,
Yeah, a lot of people
huge in
really
the
like
gaming
it.
world.
No,
Can you
not Fable the games. It has nothing to do with those games. This is
Yeah.
this is a comic book series. The only game was the Wolf Within, which was a Telltale Games
Yeah, I
thing that
remember
came
that.
out
I
a few years
remember
ago.
that
Yeah.
game. Yeah,
But
that game made Telltale Studios, which, by the way, is back.
basically, yeah.
They're back.
Mhm.
And and Bill Willingham received almost no remuneration for any of that. They didn't even tell him it was happening till it was a done deal. Which was breaking his contract in several places with them. So yeah, he's owed some money on that, and because he's likely to never see it, he just figures fuck all of them. So anyway, big breaking news in the world of of there is a lengthy article about it on Screen Rant, which also publishes his entire statement about it from his own blog, which is also very lengthy. So I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but if I can, I will link the chat or the Screen Rant article to the chat, and you can find everything else from there. But right now, yeah, bringing it up on screen's not gonna happen because stupid computer stuff. Anyway, so that's the news.
Groundbreaking.
Well, I've got some news for you guys. Now, I saw this, right? And you've probably heard about this. This man spent $14,000 to transform himself into a collie. That is an actual suit he's wearing. That is a dog suit that he's wearing.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen some shit like this before. It's creepy.
If that was in my backyard, yeah, that dog would be put down sooner than he thinks.
Yeah, because it looks dead.
It does.
Right on cue. I guess he heard you.
Was he just waving hi?
Yes. So this guy, so I guess his name is Taco, right? And he actually went out in public dressed like that.
Yeah, isn't he from like Japan? If I read that
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah, something about that. Bystanders appeared to be in awe of this man's doggy debut as he paraded down a busy street in a viral clip, which has racked up 1.7 million views. This has to be a this has to be a publicity stunt. It's gotta be.
No, it's a fetish.
Well, not only that, I'll have to look for it because I saw something that was more than a fetish, and it annoyed the heck out of me. But yeah, this is a fetish. It's not even. It is a mental health crisis because this woman right here is feeding into this man's delusion,
Right.
thinking like he can get the he's just an attention seeker. If he's not going to get it as a man, might as well dress up as a dog. Because
I just had an awful thought.
what was your awful thought?
You think when they go home from their walkies, she
I
gets the
knew
jar
it.
of peanut butter out?
Oh my gosh. I knew it, dude. I knew you were gonna say something crazy. Oh man. But yeah, look, I mean, this cat. I'm. Yeah, we know that,
We
man.
figured that out, guy. We know. You don't have to explain anything to me.
This is crazy. I don't want my hobbies to be known, especially by the people I work with. Well,
Homie.
for the same reason they
Nah.
can't show my face. Meanwhile, the Japanese man said that. Yeah, he's Japanese. So they don't know his coworkers don't know he dresses up as a dog. Well, everybody's gonna be watching the coworkers now. Is that collie fur on your hip?
Yep. Yeah, I saw you last night taking a little afternoon stroll. Or,
I
evening
dislike
stroll.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Let me bring up the other thing that I was like,
Okay.
yikes. The other fetish thing that you mentioned. You said that word. I was like, there's something else I know this is going to disturb either one of you guys. Give me a
But
second.
not both.
It might disturb both of you guys.
This is probably payback for something.
It probably is.
It probably is.
Just give me a second because I need to find it.
No, fair enough. But yeah, that collie shit, that's definitely fetish stuff. It's like people who like to get sewn up into rubber suits where it looks like they can't breathe kind of thing.
I found it.
It's that same kind of shit, except
You guys-
combined with being a furry.
You guys ready?
Well, you gotta
Yeah.
share your screen.
Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. I'm getting there.
One.
Okay.
By the way, Nomi is live streaming on her channel now.
Not. Oh yeah, I am. But yes. So speaking of fetish, this man has a diaper fetish.
Oh, I
And
saw
he's
this. I don't need to see this
He's a
again.
barista at Starbucks.
I haven't seen it. Wait a minute.
Yep.
Adult diaper while
And that's
on
with
shift.
cream.
Yes.
He's trying to do the Friday Night Lights scene.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because when I
Hey, Bog, way to come in at the most fucked up time. Oh, he's dead. What is wrong with
Oh,
people?
like a toilet flushing.
Like,
Oh, yeah, got to pack it in there. Got to make sure it's airtight.
why the ice though?
With the well, I don't know. Maybe he's too hot. He's got to cool down. I don't.
It's something.
No, like
I'm reminded of that scene in Silver Streak where Ned Beatty goes up to the love interest and he's hitting on her and all that stuff, and she's like, "Are you hot?" And he's like, "Lady, I am always hot." She's like, "Well, then I can cool you down." And she takes her drink and she opens his pants and she just dumps her icy drink all over his Johnson.
when I was fit, gosh. And the funny thing is, when I first saw that video, because I was doom scrolling before, like just on one of my little breaks that I had for myself, I was actually sipping on a Starbucks drink while I was watching that. So I was like, interesting.
Got some good ASMR out of it.
His face wasn't in that video, so you're going to be side-eyeing all your Starbucks baristas from now on, aren't you?
Well, the funny thing is that video was in Missouri, so I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be definitely watching my baristas.
Here's one of the reasons why we read the disclaimer.
Mile High Club. You know, yeah, we might get hit for that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it's brief, but yeah, we might get hit for that. I might have to clip that out or blur it or something.
Yeah, just blur it just in case. Yeah, I knew that was kind of risky. I was like, I don't know.
So if y'all haven't noticed, I'm sure you have. I put a poll in the chat trying to get people to hit the like button.
Yep.
And the questions are: would you rather smash that like button or God kills a kitten?
Zuka's like, I don't want God to kill a kitten.
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate Suka very much.
Here's one that won't kill our stream. This guy was circled by the world's biggest shark.
Oh gosh.
What, a whale shark?
25-foot shark. That's what I'm guessing.
Not what you
whale sharks get up to 75.
It's just so dark in there, and you just see a huge mouth like this.
Holy!
Oh, that's a basking shark. So it's the second largest shark in the world. Yeah, they're plankton eaters like whales.
Oh my god, my heart is beating so fast.
Man, he's good thing that shark doesn't seem to be hungry.
Oh,
man.
that's amazing.
No, they don't eat
can
people.
hear-
They don't eat anything smaller than tiny krill and shrimp and stuff.
Loads of little fish jump out in front of it. Obviously, it's feeding on the krill or the plankton. But the fish are feeding on that as well. And occasionally you see quite a few of them jump out just in front of its mouth.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Wookie's right. There's no threat from a basking shark. They're fish, like, and they are sharks, but their diet consists of the same thing that like a humpback whales would. For instance, they just open their mouths and they catch all the tiny little animals and they just swallow like tons of those things. But they're of no danger to people. They're not even interested in people. I
So
mean, they
they're
might be
the
curious, but it's not as food.
so they're the vegans of sharks.
No, they eat tiny animals. They're still carnivores. They just they're designed to basically keep down the crow population,
Okay.
which is they're very very small. Krill are, and it's the same thing that humpback whales eat, and that sort of thing. Whale sharks, which are actually bigger than those, eat pretty much the same stuff. Almost every other shark species will go after animals larger than they are, but the two biggest shark species, for some reason, eat the tiniest fucking animals in the ocean, and only them.
Right? No, we don't need to eat that. But bull
Yep,
sharks.
yep.
Oh shoot, people, let's get them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Rawr.
Bo's right. Filter feeders. Yeah. Wookie, I believe it is. I believe red tide is krill. Yeah. Fucking chat keeps jumping on me. There is something going on with StreamYard.
Yeah. Yeah, on Dames and Dorks last night, we were having a little bit of chat issues. Even me today on FNR, some of my chat wasn't coming through.
And I've seen it on a number of other channels recently too. It's like something's going on with the website. At first I thought that it might have been increased traffic because there are more YouTubers using it now than there were, but I'm starting to think that that there's something wrong with the site itself and not the servers. So I don't know for sure, but it does do weird stuff. Everything is delayed. You know how when we start the show and I play the opener, it looks like it only plays about half of the opener on our end.
Mm.
But if you go back and you watch the episode on YouTube side, it plays the whole thing. It's showing the whole thing there. It just, for some reason, it's not coming through on our end. So
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah,
Pay your
it's a
internet
little-
bill.
pay your internet bill and it'll work. That's a different bill. Hey, Wookie, thank you for hanging out, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Wookie.
I look.
We're gonna look at getting him on Screaming Into the Void at some point in the future.
Yeah. So, you guys ready? Ready for the test run
Yes.
before Nomi fades away? Boom. You see that?
Okay. Yes.
So, guys, this is the twine I was telling you about. This is a choose your own adventure, and so it's not fully done. This is basically a test, but as you can see, there's three choices based off of who you pick. Each story is different, and each one is a different character with different abilities, right? So I I guess I'll read it off. But like I said, this is very rough. So I know there's some misspelled words in there. There's some mistakes and whatnot. Um, I went through and got what I could catch before we got on, but I wanted to see if this is something that it doesn't have to be a monthly thing or anything like that. Like the quizzes, I think we've gotten those pretty down packed. But just something else to add, something else to add to our pocket. That makes sense.
Yes.
So I figure we'll run this the same way that we run, the quizzes. And the good thing is there's no time limit. There's
Okay.
no timer, there's no nothing. So you're not in a rush, right?
Mhm.
You can actually think things through, right? Because there are some endings. If you make the wrong decision, boom, it's gonna end quick. And then there's others where it'll go along, and there's more than one ending. So you might hit a good ending, but you won't get as much information as you could have, or it's more of a, well, you survive for now, but blah 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 blah. So with that said, it's a late rainy night. Three friends travel down a poorly built road leading to an old mansion hosting this year's Halloween fest. Friend A is in the back seat, friend B is driving, and friend C is sleeping in the front passenger seat. Which one are you?
I'm gonna be the friend in the back seat.
I'm gonna be asleep. I'll be friend C.
Okay, well, you guys have to agree on one.
Oh,
I mean, I
we
guess
have to. Oh,
well, you know what we could do is Nomi, you said you said you wanted to be the guy in the back seat. So we'll do Nomi's first, and then we'll do Samuel's. How about that?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Deal, Sam?
Yeah.
All right, friend B first. Congratulations, you're Nomi.
Whoa! They knew who I was. Okay.
You're a super strong cyborg from the present, but no one knows that. Besides your physical abilities, you carry a 45 caliber Desert Eagle pistol, and don't forget about your special moves, the Nomi kick and the Super Nomi kick. As you get closer to the mansion, you gently shake Francie awake and pull up to the valet, motioning you to pull up. You three get out of the valet. You three get out, and the valet parks your car and then hands you a claim ticket for your keys. You go in and see a man who identifies himself as the owner. He tells you that the party is in fact a scavenger hunt for a $3 million cashier's check that he signed. It's a celebration of his newfound wealth, a foolish one, but hey, he's offering money to so take it. Your friends waste no time going off to look for the money, but the host stops you. He's intrigued by your beauty, Nomi, and wants to quote chat for a bit. Be polite, give him a few minutes, make an excuse, ask for the bathroom.
I'm gonna be polite and give him a few minutes. Oh wait, this is Samuel's turn. So you're me, Samuel.
Well, I mean, you guys can make a decision together if you want, and use the chat. It's the same way.
I mean, I'd make an excuse and go to the bathroom.
Oh, brother, here we go. Last thing I hear,
Hi, Mir.
here she come to ruin it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, well, pardon me.
Nice hair, by the way.
Yeah, I'm culturally appropriating again, so hope you
Ow,
like.
ow, but okay,
How you guys doing?
doing good.
Doing
Oh,
good.
not that bad.
We're just trying to decide should Nomi be polite and give him a few minutes, or make an excuse and ask for the bathroom. I mean, Nomi is your adventure. I mean, you can take everybody's advice.
He's
Super
intrigued by
secret.
my beauty. Um, see, Samuel says make an excuse and go to the bathroom. But here's the thing: if I do that, he's still gonna wait for me, right? Unless I like send a mirror out, like, "Hey, is he still out there?" And then she gives me the clear signal that, like, yeah, you can run for it.
Well, she'll probably kick him in the balls anyway, and to tell you, oh,
That
just
is
go on.
true. Um, I'm gonna be polite and give him a few minutes because I like to give grace to people.
Okay.
Do you really do? Do you really?
You
Yes.
patient, you patiently listen to the host, and it's a wise decision. He's attracted to you enough to give you a clue for the hunt. He tells you that his study room is full of interesting information. The door is locked and requires a code, 4432. He tells you that if you win, he'd take you out on a date as well. You think he's butt ugly, but you smile anyway and ask where the bathroom is. The host points them all out, and you choose the one closest to the study. Do you go to the bathroom or act like you're going to the bathroom, but sneak over to the study?
Going to the bathroom and sneak to the study.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You use the door code to enter the study, but it's a beautiful layout of classic books and current tech. There's an old school globe sitting on a huge desk, along with a laptop and what looks like a big medical book. You hear the door close behind you unexpectedly, and before you could turn around, you feel teeth sinking into your neck. You
Ugh.
look to the side with your eyes, which locks on to yellow eyes. You use your Nomi strength to break free and connect with a punch. You see the host fly back into the door. Do you take out your pistol and go to work, or do you hit him with a Nomi kick?
Take out my pistol and go to work.
You empty the clip into the host, but it only manages to slow him down. That doesn't stop you though. You pistol whip him a bit and then introduce him to your equal
Excessive.
rights and left punch combo. It works for a while, but the count recovers and punches you across the study. He leaps over the desk towards you, bearing down like raindrops. Do you roll out of the way, or do you use your legs to push him back up towards the ceiling?
Use my legs to push him back towards the ceiling.
Alrighty.
Hey, MSK.
Hey,
Welcome in.
MSK.
Hi.
You double kick the host back into the air and get up. He hits the bookcase and it falls over him. You take this time to reload your Desert Eagle and look around. The host is recovering, but he's moving the bookcase so he can stand up. What now? You notice a strange looking dagger with a dark blade. Grab it. Yeah, that's where it's one of the misspellings. Grab it and go stab the host with it. Or do you run over to the host and Nomi kick him in the head?
Stab him.
All right. You grab the dagger and run over to the host. He pushes the bookcase off him, giving you the opportunity to stab him, which you do. The host lets out a yell and turns to ash. Congrats, you found a new weapon. You hear your friends yelling your name, so you exit the room. They see you and run towards you, followed by vampires. You hold up the dagger for the vamps to see, and they stop in their tracks. They seem to know about it. Your friends run into the study, and you follow them in and close the door. I think we're safe in here. The door is solid and heavy. I think they're stealing it, you say. Like a vault door, friend B says. Friend C sits in a chair and calms down. He thinks you should stay in the study until the sun comes out. Hours later, the sun is up and the vampires are gone until the moon is up. Perfect time to leave, but it will be a long walk. You made it to safety, but your car didn't, and the vampires made sure you knew that. Congratulations,
That's
you
petty.
survived. Yeah, congratulations, you survived, but you'll need to invest in bus tokens for a while.
He survived.
All right, let me take this
So
down. Let me take this down while I load the other.
Congratulations, Nomi. You lived through you know what? I have if you had gone with the Nomi kicks that Larry is so fond of, you probably wouldn't have survived. But you
yeah.
made the right calls.
So I was going to my own instinct, what I would actually do. So yes, guys, if we're ever in that situation, please just listen to me.
Yeah,
I
Nomi's a
know.
very so anyways, I started blasting kind of girl.
So anyway, started blasting, and then also I had a nap before we went into that place.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. The funny part is that that fight was the longest, but it wasn't the funniest. There was one you missed. There was a couple you missed that 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 were it was funny, but that was the quickest ending. That was the
Okay.
quickest ending.
You guys
Sounds
see
great.
how long it took him to say that? He took about 45 seconds just to say, and it was. But you see how long it took me, and it was.
Anyway, like I was saying.
When
let's
he
get
showed,
let's get a mirror up out of here. Let's get a mirror
no,
up out of here. Who let her up here?
you
Get
guys,
get to the naughty corner.
no, you guys can't do that to me.
Hey, so Sam, you said friend C, right? You said you
I
chose
did.
C.
Yes.
But
Who
he
doesn't
chose
love a good
that.
nap?
You're Shadow Hawk.
Oh god damn it.
You're Shadow Hawk. You're a young, smart man who's in good shape. You can hide well and you can fly, but only once. I forgot to put that power in there in this story. Use your wish to survive. You took a short nap, but you wake up in time to get out of the car. You and your friends made it to the mansions, and you see a butler outside motioning for you three to go in. The party is more tame than you expected. A lot of high class people like Amira, people sitting around in costumes talking about their $1 million problems. Amira doesn't do that. Friend A decides to go off on their own and meet some people, while friend B looks for the bathroom. You're all alone, but a group of women ask you to sit and join them. Do you join the ladies or do you decline and explore the mansion?
Okay, so I got to consider, do I want to play this the way I would play it or should I play it like Shadow would play it?
That's up to you.
All right, let's go with that. Let's go with how Shadow would play it. Decline and explain them.
Yeah.
Explore the mansion.
Sure would.
Probably explain it too.
You decline and walk away to explore the mansion. You see a lot of gothic paintings and statues of monsters like gargoyles, vampires, and even Swamp Thing. The owner of this place is definitely in the Halloween spirit tonight. The further away you get, the colder the mansion feels. It's starting to look like you've gone into a part of the mansion you shouldn't be in. Do you go back to the party or do you keep going?
Well, I'm thinking that my freshly, out of adolescence bravado is going to win the day here. We keep going.
You keep going down the hallway. Bam! Something knocks you into the balcony. You recover and see it's a dead body. There's blood all over you. You panic and turn to get help. That's when you see her and it's too late. There's a sharp pain in your gut that rises to your chest. You lift it off the floor with a knife. Your killer strength is incredible. You only have enough strength to open one eye. You see long hair and a bloody like doll face. Her eyes are crimson red, and she speaks before tossing you out the balcony. Demon Memer. Game over.
You know what? That makes perfect sense with Shadow.
Yes, it does.
Yep. Killed by Kohai. Shadow was killed by Kohai.
Sorry, kid. You watch this
Literally
later.
killed by Kohai.
But I mean, them's the way. Them's the breaks.
Yep. You played a shadow and you die a shadow.
That's exactly the way it would have happened. The moment you said, I'm going to think like him, I knew you were dead. I was like, oh, this is not going to be pretty. He's going to go.
Oh, I got a kick out of it.
And the messed up thing is that had you thought about it your way, there's one path where it switches from Shadow to you, and then you and Kohai fight.
Yeah.
And if you'd have thought like yourself, you probably would have reached that point.
Yeah.
But since you thought like the boy, that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's the point of role playing, right? Is to put on the skin of someone else.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
I
true.
mean, not in a creepy Buffalo Bill kind of way,
yeah.
But kind of.
but kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I'll try to get that off. Because I downloaded Twine instead of doing it off the website. But I'll try to see if I can get it taken out so that if anybody wants to play it, we can make it available. Amura, how are you tonight?
What
Our
was it?
lovely lioness. What would you like to talk about tonight?
Every time you ask her that, dude, every single time.
I'm being hey,
Stop asking her.
Look, I am being respectful, okay?
I know my friend, and I know what she's gonna say.
Winches and hoes? I mean, can we? Yes, are we not going to do it or what?
well, if you're gonna bring that up, we could talk about what was that? The lady that was in the BDSM, and then she tried to have her husband murdered.
Mhm. Real quick before we get into that, though, Nomi's got to hop off for a minute. She may be back if she can, but she's got to head out. She's got things to do. So Nomi,
No, Nomi, where are you? Nomi, where are you going?
I'll just be away for a little while.
You can't just leave work like that.
Yes, I can.
I mean,
I
we're
can do
not
whatever the
paying
whole
her,
time.
so
Yeah.
No,
Unless someone, I'm gonna grift on this show too. Unless someone throws a little bit of something through my Cash App.
You hoe. You're such a hoe. Oh my.
For some ASMR. For some ASMR, $10 and I get to stay. But
no.
Nomi, value yourself. You are worth more than $10, girl.
Okay, $100 for me to stay.
Think of what Beak is saying. Hey, Beak, toss her some money. You said no stream without Nomi.
Yes. Toss a coin to the Nomi jar. Yes, there's no stream without Nomi. Oh, I know, but I have to go do something.
Like
but
what?
Wait, what'd you say?
So you said if somebody gives you $10, you'll stay, and then you're saying I have to go do something. So are you going to do something that's going to get you those $10 that you're looking for, or what are we doing? Why are you leaving?
I have a phone date.
Girl, we are your phone date. What other phone do you?
No. It's
no.
Let her go.
That's important. That's important. I know what she's talking about. That's important.
No, we are important. No, me.
You guys are important, but this other person is just as important, more important than you guys.
Haven't you ever loved someone, Lioness?
No, I'm telling you, I've seen you forever, know me, and then finally I come see you, and then you're taking off. Are you gonna come back?
I will come back. I promise.
Okay. As long as you come back, you have 10 minutes. Okay, go make your money, boo.
I'll be.
Oh wow.
I think it'll be more than 10 minutes.
Nomi,
that type.
We'll see you when you get back.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I know me.
Hey, hey,
If it will just, get me out of here.
hey, I was gonna ask you, Sam. Did you see? There's a. I know it's on X, Twitter X, as I like to call it. But just before we came on, I saw a video of you've been hearing about Lauren Bobart getting kicked out of that play, and she was swearing up and down that she didn't do anything wrong. But there's a video of her out on a date with some guy that owns a bar in Colorado, right? And they were like, okay, well, she's a Republican senator and she's on a date with a Democrat, and the guy was he was fondling her chest, and it's on camera, and she was giving him a happy ending, and she was
So,
vaping in there.
What is a happy ending?
she was jerking him off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like somebody actually posted the video. Some lady, she was like, "Look at what Lauren Bovart's doing," but yet she's saying LBGTQ are threats to children. I was like, yeah, that's not what she said. What she was saying was drag queens in school scaring the hell out of kids is a threat to That's what she was saying.
But those are adults, right? Those are
Yeah, those are adults.
They were adults in an adult space doing adult
Yeah.
things. There were
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
present.
Yeah. It's as being around children, of course. I mean, that's not.
But yeah, that was a trip. They showed it just in full view. I mean, they didn't show, of course, his little now and later poking out.
No,
But
I didn't hear about any of this stuff. I did see photos of her in a pretty tight dress at some kind of gala,
yeah,
but that was all it was. And she was being compared to some photos of AOC in a very tight dress, and people were saying that they pay good money to see the two mud wrestle to solve our politics.
So, miss you, Suka. I miss you guys. Oh, Suka, he explained it for me. He's like, ending equals finish. I think I understand that ending or finish. I think I understand.
Yeah. Off the menu stuff. So, but no, I hadn't heard anything about that video. I don't actually know if it's real, and even if it is,
no, it's
if there are
real. Like I
adult
literally
people
just
in
watched
adult
it.
spaces, like and she was just being filmed by random people doing this, or somebody was
No,
doing
no,
this with her cell phone and
it's
hiding it.
no. It was the theater camera. The theater, because what she did was she
Mm.
got kicked out. And she was yelling at them, and she was like, "Do you know who I am? I'm gonna call the mayor." And then she was like, "We weren't in there vaping. That was smoke machines, and we weren't doing anything wrong." But now this video
Mm.
comes out, and you could clearly see her with the guy because she turns her face towards the camera, so you can see it's her. And the guy reaches into her
Okay.
shirt and starts fondling her.
Okay, so she got kicked out because they were doing that?
That, among other things.
Okay, so that's why she got kicked out. Okay,
That's why she
so
got kicked out.
yeah, she probably shouldn't have been doing that, but she might have a case against whoever posted that video online.
I don't know. I mean, she was in a public space.
Still, if that sort of activity is involved, yeah, the revenge porn laws might apply there.
What happened? What happened to Amira?
I don't know. It kind of sounds like she turned into an old Galaga machine, doesn't it?
Guys, hold on. I'm sending a text. My husband is texting me. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say beep boop boom.
Sound like she's talking to R2D2. Anyway, so while she's doing that, Sam, I came across this list, right? And I was like, I wonder if he'll even agree with this. I mean,
Oh,
it is
probably
like,
not. It's fucking IGN.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they're saying Scream is number 25.
Am I making noise again, guys? Tell me.
No.
No, you're all right now.
Okay, cool.
So, 25 out of what? I have to know what the other ones are.
Okay,
Like,
so
what's their criteria?
basically, this looks like some of the movies here are more traditional fare
Suka.
or per, while others are just twisted and creepy in a permanently scarred for life sort of way. but all of them will scare the living heck out of you. So enjoy and fire off your own suggestions and face. So it looks like they didn't really put a lot of thought into this.
No,
Um,
because it said the creepy and whatever ones it says, e.g., Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is not a horror movie; it's a
yeah.
thriller. It's a
No, it's
psychological thriller.
psychological. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's it's a yeah, it involves serial killers, but it's basically a procedural crime drama.
Right. Right. That's what I would call it. So,
Yeah.
but yes, Scream is 25. We'll see. We'll see if you agree with that. With the next one, Nosferatu.
Okay, I would rank that higher on any list.
Never
Yeah, I
seen.
would too.
Nosferatu is the very first film version adaptation of Dracula. It's actually breaks a lot of laws because it was unauthorized. They were supposed to destroy every copy because the Bram Stoker estate, who owns the property of Dracula, were not informed that they were making this movie at all, let alone paid any royalties. A few copies survived, which is why I've seen it. It's a silent film. It's actually one of the earlier silent films, and it was yeah, very cool. It's got a weird story to how it was made too.
Oh, Boa has a
You
good
know,
point. Where does Cuties rank?
it's
Cuties.
probably not on there because IGN are staffed full of people who are into that shit. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even though they want to put it on this list, but hey. So the next one, the Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project should not be on any list ever. That movie sucks.
That is not scary. It was just nauseating.
Yeah, it was. It was stupid, and the ending. I was just like, what?
I was just talking to Horror Amarada on Twitter earlier today about this very movie, and what I said to her, I think still applies here. Is like it's barely watchable with all the shaky cam and the extreme close up ugly crying.
With the boogers.
That's pretty much
Yeah,
that's pretty much the whole movie. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen it, don't. It's not good.
it's not. It's just this girl crying the whole time, and people, them getting lost and friends missing, and you know,
Hey, Shadow.
Shadow, you missed it.
But that
You
was their
died, Shadow. You died.
first attempt at trying to make a movie look real, like reality. You know that, right? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it started a whole trend that I think is just stupid. Paranormal Activity, for example, which Suka mentioned, is an hour and a half of watching people sleep on home cameras.
I enjoyed that. I don't know why I enjoyed
Oh, it's
that.
so boring.
I'm a voyeur type of person. I like to watch people do things.
Uh, Shadow. Long story short, we debuted a new segment, and you got killed by Kohai. The next one on this list, Dracula. Now I'm
That's a good
guessing.
one.
Right now, this is the Stoker family authorized. I'm guessing.
It is, and that's Bela Lugosi in the starring role of the title character, and he shines here. Like you don't remember anybody else's name in this movie but Bela Lugosi because he just
True.
fucking rules it.
I've never even seen this one, and even I know his name. When somebody says Dracula, I think about Bela Lugosi.
hmm
I may have seen it when I was a kid. But I've seen so many versions of Dracula.
I think I've got a copy of it on like 4K or something.
Might be something worth watching. Um, but yeah, 28 days later.
It
What?
is a good movie, but I don't know if it's greatest horror movies ever.
Hell no, it was depressing to me.
Well, it's supposed to be, but it was a good movie. It was a good zombie movie. I liked it a lot. The explanation for the zombies was kind of stupid, the whole rage virus thing. But other than that, this was my introduction to Cillian Murphy. He's a hell of an actor, and Naomi Harris is in it too. And the guy who was Raymond Calitri in Gone in 60 Seconds, I can never remember his name. He played Doctor Who too for a season. But yeah, it was a really solid film, but I don't know if I would put it on a list of best horror movies ever made.
Mm.
Yeah, Yeah, it would not be on this list. The Fly would be on this list though.
That wouldn't be yes.
Just for being creepy.
No. This also has the single greatest performance Jeff Goldblum has ever done. Ever. It also is notable because it did things with practical effects and body horror that are unparalleled even today, except maybe from John Carpenter's The Thing. It is gross, though. It is. It's also one of my very favorite mad scientist movies.
True. And he definitely went mad. American Werewolf in London.
Great movie.
Great
Probably
movie.
one of the. Sorry?
No, go ahead.
It's definitely in the top 5 best werewolf movies ever made.
I agree. In fact, for me, it's always been number one for me because this movie was my introductory. It was my introduction to werewolves.
Oh, fair enough. I
I
think
was
mine would.
what, 3? I was 3 years old when this came out.
Mhm. Yeah, I think mine would have been probably The Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. would come first, but this is a close second.
Is that wolves? My only wolf movie is what, X-Men. The one who is a wolf. I'm dumb. Okay, never mind.
Oh, you're thinking
No,
of
she's talking about
Wolverine.
Beast. I think she's talking about Beast. Is he blue?
No, X-Men, where the guy has the
Wolverine.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, Wolverine.
That one.
Because there is a guy on the X-Men that looks like a werewolf. His name is Beast. He's like blue. I think he is pretty much a blue werewolf. That's what I think he's supposed to be.
It's a little bit more complicated than that. There's a lot of ape stuff too.
Ape?
Yeah, he's got some ape.
Yeah, he's got like toes he can grip stuff with.
Oh.
Let the right one in. I never watched it.
Yes. I have it. I have a copy of it on DVD. It's
a vampire movie, right?
Yeah, this is the Swedish version, not the American remake, which is called Let Me In.
Let Me In.
The Swedish version is chilling. It's about the boy in the background there, Oscar. He gets into it with some local bullies and stuff like that, and he befriends this little girl, or what he thinks is a little girl, who's just moved in. And as it turns out, she's a vampire, and their relationship is like at equal parts heartwarming and fucking disturbing.
I think Insidious and Annabelle should make this list. Insidious was pretty scary. Like if you guys go to the theater, and Annabelle was freaky to me.
Yeah. Well, the whole Insidious series. In fact, didn't the latest one came out 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just put one out a couple months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the first Insidious, and I was done after that. I was like, nope.
Wait, are you being sarcastic, Shadow? He says Amira seems very engaged by this. Are you serious? Are you joking?
It's hard to tell with him sometimes.
Yeah.
He said he went back and watched 45 seconds of what we did, and he's still confused.
It's fine. It's fine, kid. Watch it tomorrow. It's fine.
Okay, I've never seen this one. Suspiria.
I have only ever heard about this movie. I've never actually seen it, so I don't know. Classic movie buffs and people who are into like cult classics and stuff say a lot of good things about it, but most of the rest of the world at large is largely unaware of it. And if they are aware of it, they're just kind of like, okay, that was weird. So I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's about. Amira, do you know?
Nope.
Oh, well then, screw that. Dawn of the Dead. No.
Yeah, that's stupid.
This movie should not even be. This movie should not be on this list.
No, it should not. It was
not.
Yeah, the one with Sarah Polley. No, this should not be on this list.
Psycho says Super Suka.
Psycho, again, I wouldn't qualify as a horror movie, although it is thought of as the beginning of slasher films. It's more of, again, a psychological thriller. It's about getting into the mind of a person who ain't right. And it's oh my God, Anthony Perkins is fucking fantastic in that. And he was so good in that he got typecast for the rest of his fucking career.
Yep. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes. Now this should be on the list. I don't know if you've ever seen the first one. The first one is this one is no joke. This one's scary. This one will scare you.
Well, the first 3 of them are really good, and the fourth one's not bad. Well, let me qualify.
Well, in the fourth one, he was saying that he was kind of getting tired by the time they got to the fourth one, he wasn't really.
Yeah, well, he did three more after that. So
Yeah. Well, man's got to eat, right? He need money
yeah,
Right. You better work.
but
because he
you
got
know, like
typecast a little bit too afterwards.
3, 4, and 5 are more or less a trilogy, and they work together very well. The second one is probably the gayest slasher movie ever made,
Yeah, yeah, it is on
and
purpose.
yeah, no, it's very gay, like 1982, very gay. Um, and Freddy's Dead was awful.
Freddy's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, the one
it
where
was called
his
Freddy's Dead: A New Nightmare,
Hmm.
yeah,
or
but
no,
then
Freddy's Dead something else. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, Roseanne Barr's in it,
But
and I
Wes
like
Craven's
Roseanne Barr, but
yeah, Wes
yeah.
Craven's New Nightmare was good because Wes Craven said that the way he did that movie, that was originally the way that Freddy was supposed to be. He wasn't supposed to be funny and cracking jokes and stuff like that, and he was supposed to look worse. So I was like, well, dude, it's your property. Why didn't you just do that to begin with?
Well, the cracking jokes and stuff actually made
Ma-
him scarier.
Yeah, because how can you be in a joyful mood and cracking jokes at a time like this, right? It
Yeah,
makes
it's
Well,
you,
true.
especially since he's a child murderer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes you look psychotic.
Well, that wasn't the reason he gave though. He was saying that something about the studios wouldn't let him do it. They wouldn't let him do it the way he wanted. So he had to do it the way he did it instead. But I think it worked out. I think both ways worked out well, you
Mm.
know. But
Hmm.
Freddy is an iconic character, and
Hey,
this one
Richard.
is what's Richard L. Anyway, this
What is your problem? I just don't
what?
understand.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
Last week you were mad at him. This week now you back on me again.
Listen, it's because, listen, I can be mad at my pride and still take up for them when they're being bullied. Stop bullying that
I
boy.
haven't bullied him.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done anything to him.
Every time you see his name, your voice tone goes down a few levels. Richard L. Oh, okay.
But
Back
when
to,
he was mean to me, you had nothing to say. And when you got mad at him last week, then you wanted to sick me on it. Now
well,
you back.
that's that.
I'm
Listen,
starting to think you like him better than me.
Larry, at least he doesn't stress me out. He doesn't bother me. He doesn't try to tell me stories that last 30 minutes when it could have been 30. I mean, Larry, he has a lot of redeeming qualities. Okay, let's just say that.
Poltergeist
Real,
number 14.
Oh, you
I
oh
you
you
know,
move on without. Okay, all right, that's okay. All right, let's move on. Poltergeist. Okay.
Poltergeist is a pretty solid ghost story actually, and it's surprisingly, like, I mean, it's not like family friendly, but you can take like older kids to it, like 13 to 17, older kids, um, and it's good. It's very effective at what it does. It's very creepy. Everybody in the world knows the line, "They're here."
This
I don't
this
think
is what I'm talking about.
what.
He knows that's not true. He knows me and him. He knows what he
Let it
did.
go.
Focus,
God.
focus on the poltergeist. Focus
I
on
just want an apology. That's all.
He's not
It's
gonna
not
give it.
going to happen.
He's not going to do it.
Anyway, Poltergeist is definitely a classic. It is one of the few movies that I would put above A Nightmare on Elm Street, and that's saying a lot. What?
Yeah. No, I was just reading something the shadow said. Don't worry about it. It's Poltergeist is really good though. It's the classic, like, we're moving into a house that was built on an Indian burial ground, and desecrated spirits are super pissed
Mm,
off about it, kind of thing.
okay.
And then there's the second one. The second one I think was my favorite, but I don't know if this
They're
one.
back.
Yep. But you know what? You know what got me about the second one was it was what it was what the little old lady said to them, and when she was talking about the head poltergeist, she was like, to the daughter, he was just another little boy, but to them, he's the beast.
Mhm.
Mm. What about Jeepers Creepers? What do you guys think about that one?
I love that series. That
Yeah.
that creeper
Jeepers
was
Yeah, it was well designed monster, and that first one is a very creepy, very effective film. This is one of those you gotta separate the art from the artist kind of things.
Mm, mm,
Because the man who wrote and directed it and all that stuff also did a movie called Powder. He's done several other movies, but
He did
he also
Powder?
did, yeah, he wrote Powder while he was in prison for
For
raping a
slanging powder?
minor.
Oh,
Oh,
His name's Victor Salva.
what about one called Children of the Corn? Like,
that's a classic.
yeah, I watched Children of the Corn as a child, and I was freaked
Mhm.
out.
Which one, the original or one of the remakes? One of
A
the mini remakes.
remake of it. I've only seen. I believe it was the original, right? I mean,
Mm.
If it
yeah,
looked really old, yeah.
it looked old. Yeah.
The first one's good. After that, they get kind of silly.
Mm.
Well, I mean, there are some good remakes out there. It just depends on which one you catch. The Thing.
This is one of the few remakes that surpasses the original. It's in almost every way. So The Thing is based on a 50s movie called The Thing from Another World, which is in turn based on a short story from the 30s called Who Goes There? And this is like the definitive version of it. John Carpenter's probably his best work ever.
Okay.
Super creepy movie. This is also, by the way, in my wheelhouse in terms of like my favorite genre of horror. This is cosmic horror. This is Lovecraftian shit. This is the kind of thing that after you've done watched it, you're left with this feeling of like this like residual feeling of dread. Right? It does
Mhm.
its job so effectively.
It's the story of your life. Kurt Russell
Well,
found you
yeah.
and he tried to blow you up with dynamite. It didn't work, and now here you are hosting a movie. I'm hosting a show.
Yeah.
Wait, is
Um,
Stephen King version of Children of the Corn the original?
well, Stephen King wrote the short story that Children of the Corn is based on. Yes.
That's not the question. I asked you, isn't the Stephen King version the original?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so then yeah. Well then yeah. What's his name? Richard. That's the one I saw too, and that's the only one that I've seen. I've never seen a remake of it.
Nah, you don't want to. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it for yourself. Trust me. Trust me. The Children of Corn was one of those. It's a classic. It's one of those types of classics that should never be remade. Just leave it
Mhm.
alone. It didn't need any sequels, and too many people try to make money off of it, and it never worked. The
Well,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. I was just thinking about Dusk Till Dawn. Dusk Till Dawn is kind of a scary movie, but not really, right? It's more of a action.
It
Uh,
goes from action to horror movie, but
yeah.
with action still in it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like From Dusk Till Dawn. That's definitely that's definitely a that's definitely a favorite of mine. You be quiet.
You guys gotta let this shit go.
Guys, I'm putting both of you guys in timeout. Samael, if you can't handle them, I will. Because apparently Samael lets you guys act all crazy over here.
Mm-hmm.
He encourages it.
Boaz brings up a point here too that the Thing was one part of what's called the Apocalypse trilogy, all of which were very Lovecraftian movies made by John Carpenter. Thing, Prince of Darkness, which is more culty, and In the Mouth of Madness, which has a lot more to do with other dimensions.
Mm.
In the Mouth of Madness is one of my favorite movies of all time, actually.
Mm.
So, as far as Texas Chainsaw Massacre goes, it's iconic. Tobe Hooper did a really good job with it. It doesn't show you anywhere near as much as any of the remakes do, and I think it's more effective for that. But
Mm.
it's not my thing. I don't really like cannibal inbred hillbilly shit.
What was that
So,
one cannibal movie? It wasn't really cannibal, but it was just sick. It was like these guys in the woods, right? They get lost in the woods. It started with a D. I think it was Deception. No,
Deliverance.
Deliver.
Deliverance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a horror movie.
Yeah.
I I only seen one part of that. It was like when he was calling him a pig and telling him to yeah. I only saw that part of that movie.
Yeah. I mean, boy,
That
you sure do got a purty mouth.
yeah, you should have pretty mouth. No, and the guy who was doing the scene, it must have been so hard for him to do that scene because that was his first, wasn't it like his first movie or one of his first movies? And he had to do that scene, and oh,
Yeah.
as a man doing that, I can't imagine.
That's funny. I brought that actor up earlier today, Ned Beatty.
Mm,
He's in another
Yeah.
movie that I love a lot.
yeah.
But
Rosemary's Baby.
here's Rosemary's Baby, directed by Roman Polanski, who, by the way, Amira, as you probably know because you're in the legal field, that man is still on the run to this day for doing exactly what Sam mentioned that the other director did a few minutes ago.
That
Mm,
that's been a problem with some of these directors and some of these producers and whatnot, like specifically the ones we're talking about here, Victor Salva and Roman Polanski. Both of them make very good movies. So you either boycott the whole thing or you separate the art from the artist because there's no other way to get through this shit because they're both awful fucking people. And by the way, we know exactly where Roman Polanski is.
Yeah.
He's in a non-extradition country.
Yep.
mm.
And he's been there ever since.
The second
'Cause-
he steps foot on U.S. soil, he is going to fucking prison and he's getting ass raped by the inmates.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
So I was the one getting your channel canceled. I guess you're doing
No.
it. Just making sure.
But no, but he's
Don't
right though.
no,
He
don't blame it on me, Samael.
yeah. He's probably the reason, and I could be wrong, but he's probably the reason why if somebody has a lot of money, they have to surrender their passport because they're a
Mhm.
flight risk. He's probably the reason why.
It's
Mm.
part of it. Shadow, that's not provable. Those are rumors. You're talking about tweets that were said to be jokes. You know, you might feel a certain way about James Gunn. You've got no fucking proof for that. Nobody does. That's why he's still doing his thing. And it may just have been jokes. You don't know. The thing about Roman Polanski is we know for a fact that he did it. Victor Salva has actually done time for it. One of his best movies he ever wrote. He wrote while in prison doing time for that. He was convicted. You know, he not for long enough. By the way, he's out. He's been out for years. But yeah. But with James Gunn, you don't. There's no proof of that. You're operating on an assumption on something that you heard. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying that it's not like a Roman Polanski situation. So anyway, Rosemary's Baby, classic coming of the Antichrist film.
Yep. Did they even show the baby? They showed the baby at the end, right?
Briefly and like just for a second. If I remember right, this is the one where the father figures it out and tries to kill the baby, right?
No, I think that's that's the Omen.
No, no, because the kid was older in the Omen. This one, the kid was still in a baby. He gets the baby away from the mother, who increasingly gets more paranoid and protective of it, and then tries to kill it before the cult comes and takes him to raise him as the Antichrist. I could have
Oh, then
sworn
yeah.
that was this movie.
No. Then that would be it because I know the Omen. I
Mhm.
think it was either a father or a mother, but one of the parents figured out, and Damien was little, and one of them figured out
Right,
who he
right.
was, and he was
Damien ends
killed.
up killing both of his parents.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But in this one, no, he gets the father gets shot seconds before he's about to kill the kid, which is good that they didn't show like infanticide on screen. But he gets shot seconds before that happens, and I believe the baby gets turned back over to the
That's
cult
not
to be raised as the Antichrist.
infanticide is not just killing of a kid. Infanticide is going after a mass of kids and killing them.
No, it's not.
It is. That's like,
Infanticide literally means homicide of an infant.
would you say genocide is when someone kills somebody because of their?
No, but I would say homicide which is when you kill a human.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you could say that. But that's
Suicide is
so
self.
different. Because you see genocide, you wouldn't say that just for someone killing someone of the opposite gender. But infanticide is even if you kill
Well,
one. Really?
genocide has nothing to do with gender. Genocide has to do with genus, like a whole group.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though. I'm sorry, not
Mhm.
gender. You see what I mean? Gene. But yeah, I don't know. Infanticide is just from killing one. I wouldn't call it that. I would call it homicide. It's just
Well, I mean, it would be multiple infanticide if you killed more than one. By the way, YouTube, we're not actually advocating any of this. We're just discussing terminology.
Hence, hence the disclaimer I read earlier. Night
This
of the
movie,
Living.
first of all, is excellent. Secondly, is one of the first movies to have a black man in the lead where he wasn't playing into stereotypes or anything racial. None of it came up during the movie. He was just his character. Dwayne, what's his name?
Jones.
Dwayne Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right on.
Um, yeah. And he was the hero of the movie, by the way. It was the first time he wasn't playing a stereotype or a specific profession, or like the only one that came out before this that I can think of is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier, which was in the same year but earlier. Um, and in that one, that whole movie is about racial stereotypes.
no, but that can't be the first time that you've seen a black actor act just normally. I mean, that's the '60s. That's the late '60s. Seriously?
It is, yes.
I don't.
This was the first movie where a black man was given a role that did not play into some form of stereotype.
I don't believe that. I know there has.
Yeah, now I am curious about that. I'm not saying you're wrong, Sam, but
I am.
okay, now this is worth looking up. It's definitely worth looking up. Now I have to know.
Yeah. I don't know that it was the very first, but it was one of them. Because I don't think that anybody mentions the fact that he's black throughout the movie at all. Like it just never comes up. There are people who are aligned against him, but it has more to do with their selfish needs than it does anything racial. Because a bunch of random people get trapped in a house while zombies are trying to get at them. Good movie.
When was the movie The Color? No, not that one. What is the Roots movie? Oh no, but the Roots is about the race. Yeah, it's not.
And it was also in the late 70s, I think, early 80s.
Roots?
Mm-hmm. The book was written before that, but I think the movie version or the miniseries version of it came out in like the late 70s. Because LeVar Burton's in it, but he was quite young at the time. This is before his Reading Rainbow days.
I don't know. Maybe Larry will take time to look it up if he's interested, but I don't know. But anyway, what's the next movie? Next horror movie?
1976 was Roots. I don't know. We're gonna have to have a but good movie. Night of the Living Dead is great. Yep, that's going on there. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever seen Evil Dead, Amira?
No.
So Evil Dead 2 is essentially the same movie as Evil Dead, except that they got rid of the handsy tree that grapes Ash's girlfriend, which was really messed up. And it was better written and better produced, and it was just thoroughly much more entertaining. It's a little bit different than the first one, and that whole series, each movie was made by different studios, so there are like weird disconnected differences between all of them. But I think the Evil Dead 2, like a lot of people, is actually superior to the first one.
I hear that a lot too, and I've never seen either of the originals, but I know them by reputation. I watched Army of Darkness, which I think is, from what I've heard by reputation, is a departure from the other two, a strong one.
It is. It takes place in the same kind. It's got the same kind of world universe rules to it, but it's also goofy, and there's a lot of like weird mysticism stuff to it, and it's really funny.
Yeah, it is. I love it. I think it's a great film. It's definitely not a horror film, though. It's just meant to be funny.
Marshmallow.
Yeah, it does.
Beak Uhura was basically the first like black female on screen but this was again television and started in 1966, so only 2 years before Night of the Living Dead came out.
Yeah, I think what Beak is saying though is that she
Mhm.
might be the first one where her race wasn't brought up.
Yeah, she wasn't playing a cook or a maid or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see.
good, good
Next
stuff.
one. Silence of
Shouldn't be on the
Lambs.
list. It's a it's a fantastic movie. This is not the genre for that.
But there's many different types of fear and I can't say horror, but
I don't.
different things scare different people, and I'm wondering, should it be? I wouldn't put it up this. I definitely, I it would be at number 25
Well,
if I was
it's
gonna
not
have
a
it on
horror
this list.
movie.
No, it's not.
It's a psychological thriller. Like I was saying, it doesn't belong on this list. It belongs at the top of its own list of its own genre. It's definitely one of the best psychological horror movies or psychological thrillers ever made, but it's not a horror movie.
Yeah, Silence
Question.
of the Lamb was it's one of those that really make your mind is like
Well,
Hmm.
here's the thing too, is that it may not be a traditional scary movie, but the difference between this one and some of the others is that there's actually people in the world like Hannibal Lecter.
Hmm. No,
You
well,
know,
there's the character of Hannibal Lecter, well, entirely created by the author who wrote those books that this is based very much on an amalgam of several different real world people, one of whom I believe is El Salvadorian and still in prison and still a psychologist and still insane, who he did
mm,
a lot of interviews with in person to kind of nail down Lecter's character. Obviously, he's got other things that inspired the character, different real people though. And Buffalo Bill, the other killer in the movie, was heavily inspired by Ed Gein, same as Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Ed Gein was a very real dude, killed over a
right?
period of like 30 years,
Yeah.
something like that. And a lot of what he did was so messed up that it inspired at least three or four dudes
Oh
in
yeah,
in
yeah.
cinema
He was making leather belts out of people, and
out
I
of
mean, Amira,
nipples.
yeah, Amira, you know about Ed Gein, right? What set him off? His
who
mother
are
died.
you about, Shadow? What do you mean Amira looks short? Even if I am short, I'm still gangster, and you should be scared no matter what. My height doesn't mean any. Wait, no. Send him to the naughty corner. No. First of all, what you're not do is make it seem like less dangerous because I look short or something. That doesn't mean that I'm less dangerous or less of a threat to your life. That doesn't
Yeah,
mean
Shadow,
it
you
just
heard
means
what she
she's
said.
closer to curb stomping your nuts, dude.
Shadow, we warned you about pissing her off, dude. That's 3 minutes naughty corner, or is it 2 minutes? I can't remember.
tell him I'm just closer to the curb, just curb stump you. That's it. That's it. Don't. First of all, okay, I'm sorry, Larry. What were you saying?
No, no, it's fine. I mean, we know how tall she is. Trust me, Shadow. She's taller than you probably think. She's
Thank,
almost as tall as I am.
thank you.
Can I
So,
give another like?
all right. But no, I was just saying that I'm wondering if Silence of the Lambs ended up on this list, not because that it's like can be compared to Poltergeist, but the fact is, like you said, it's a combination of different people. But these characters are based off of people who existed and people like them who currently exist today,
Hmm.
and maybe that's why they're on this list.
I
Maybe
don't know,
that's
man, because like you could say that for a lot of different things. Like the vampire Dracula is based on a very real person, but only very, very loosely. That has no bearing on whether or not those are horror movies. They're horror movies because it's about an undead monster.
No, what he's saying is that it's realer than we perceive in the movies because these are real people, which makes it even scarier because it's a real aspect to it. You know what I mean? Like some fantasy movies, it doesn't scare you that much because you know these things don't really exist. So you're like, oh, it's scary, but when you think of things that really exist and things that are based off of real people, that makes it even scarier.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a different genre for me, so I don't even include this in horror. So
I'll put it
yeah.
in perspective. Put it in perspective. A friend of mine is what is that? What is
He-
it? A social worker. He's a social worker. A
yeah.
few years ago, he went to meet up with a client of his that had mental issues.
Mm,
He sat down. He had his hour session. Everything was fine with him. Now, he's not allowed to bring a weapon or any kind of anything to protect himself. And he was actually sent to this man's house. Nothing happened to him. Hour later, he's at the restaurant eating. He sees a news report come along, and there was somebody went out and murdered like 3 people, and it was his client that he had just saw. This
Wow.
guy sat with him for an hour, acted like everything was fine, and then when my friend left, he went out and murdered 3 people. He was a serial killer, and my
Yeah.
friend didn't know it.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
how close he was. He was in this man's house unarmed,
Mhm.
thinking that he was helping him. I think that's why Silence of the Lambs is on this list, but it should not be number 8.
All right, we'll have to agree to disagree on that. I don't think it should be
And
on the
that's
list at
fine.
all.
Well, I can see your side too. If when you look at it on his face, no, it has no business being on this list. I'm just trying to figure out, what IGN was thinking, but then again, it is IGN, so
Let me put it this way. Like, I would put this very high on a list that also had the movie Seven very high on that list.
okay.
I some very horrific shit happens in those movies, but they are not horror movies. They're thrillers and they're procedurals. Um,
Shadow, I did not. First of all, can you put him in? Please put him in the naughty corner. Please,
I
Shadow,
don't.
don't insult me. I would never get IKEA furniture. Oh
First,
my god.
yeah. First of all, Shadow, stop pissing her off. Secondly, you're spelling everything about that name completely fucking wrong. And
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
does this look like IKEA to you? Look, you can't see it. It's too dark in here. But still, what the hell, IKEA? This is fine Italian, okay? Not IKEA. IKEA plastic crap. Oh my goodness. People have no taste. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. The kid doesn't know any better.
He doesn't know the difference between fine Italian furniture from a designer that is very popular versus IKEA.
Well, you're talking about somebody that thinks that paper cups are high class. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, Jaws number 7.
No. No. Jaws wasn't
I,
scary.
see, I'm a little torn on this one because it's my favorite movie of all time.
Of course it is, Sam.
Doesn't make it scary.
But I while I do believe that there are horror elements in it on account of the giant monster that eats people, um, it's not just that. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. I would classify this as an adventure film more than anything else.
Okay.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure that a lot of people would disagree with me about that, but once they get out on the boat, once they're out there hunting the shark, and then the shark starts hunting them back. I mean, it's a very Ahab versus the white whale kind of thing. It's a very very high adventure. Even the music is like, we're going on an adventure, and so that's how I've always seen it.
It's like Jurassic Parky. You know how Jurassic
Yeah.
Park kind of, yeah.
Okay. Alien.
Never seen it.
Yes.
Reminds me of Planet of the Apes though, for some reason.
Alien technically also qualifies as cosmic horror.
Yeah, it does. Kinda.
And no, not kinda, like it absolutely does.
But the
Because
alien is an alien. It's not a cosmic
a lot
entity.
of the stuff in cosmic horror is just like I mean, there's
I
stuff
guess.
about the you should read some more Lovecraft. A lot of the stuff they encounter in there is basically just aliens. Um, it isn't about that. It's about the sense of dread and what else is out there and the unknown that it instills in you. And I think that Alien is probably one of the scariest horror movies ever made, ever. It's all done with atmospherics, with the way they filmed it, with the light and the dark. You don't even see the damn thing until like the last part of the third act, not fully. It's almost all in your imagination, and I mean, it's done brilliantly.
hmm Suka's right. It's sci-fi, but it can be sci-fi
It,
horror. It could be.
yeah, it's also science fiction. Yes, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But yeah, it does. It has that. The universe is so much bigger than mankind knows or can deal with,
Or
and the universe does. Yeah, and the worst part is that the universe does not care. And that's the staple of the stuff. And I think Alien really touched on a lot of cosmic horror elements successfully in a way that most stuff that is directly translated from like Lovecraftian stuff doesn't work on screen. I think they did it very, very, very well, and they did it in '79, which is saying something.
Wow, Suka, you're tall. You're 6'2". How tall is everyone in here? I am 5'6".
I'm 6'5".
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm good old 5'9". So
Yeah.
Yep. Richard here says on a PBS documentary on Alien, Ridley Scott, who's the guy who conceived all of it and directed it, said the hallmark feature of filming was the minimalization of musical backdrops to the scene. And that was, you're right, and he's right, that was key to it being very effective, is because what you heard, the ambience and the sound design, was more about the things that were in the room, and not so much like a score that was teaching you, that was like manipulating how you felt about a thing. And they did that really well. And the other thing that really stood out was the dialogue. The way that they filmed it was very natural. It was like real people having real conversations, as opposed to scripts that actors were memorizing and performing. Very good movie. Very good.
So let's see the height. So I see Suk says he's 5'11". Oh, Super Suka, you're not 6'5". Oh, Shadow Hawk is also 5'11". Richard is 5'9", and Suka is 6'2". Oh, well, you guys are all pretty tall to me. I mean, I think 5'11", 5'12" is perfect height for a guy, for a girl who's like 5'6". But
well, you're rare. Most girls that are your height think that 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". Samuel's height is perfect for them.
Well, which is stupid because, from practical experience, no, it's not. It doesn't work.
I don't think it looks good together. If you have a man too tall and woman too short, I don't think they look good together. Like, it looks good when the man is like at least 5 inches taller than his woman, but not like so high. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that was a problem with my ex-wife. I'm 6'5", she's 5'3".
Oh,
I am 14 inches taller than that woman. Certain things are simply physically not possible.
Shadow says Amira certified passable height. Yeah. Wait, so tall for you guys? Like, what would men consider as tall for a woman?
For tall for a woman, I'd say
5'8",
probably anything
5'8" and up.
5'9" and up, I would
Five-
say.
Oh.
I would say 5'8" and up.
Hmm.
I don't know. I see 5. I mean, it's just an inch, so I mean, there's some wiggle room there, but I would probably say that the mid range is between like 5'5" and 5'8".
In modeling, you cannot be considered a model unless you are over 5'8". So 5'8" and up is the model requirement. If
Yeah.
you 5'5" and below, you can be considered a petite model, but 5'8" is a runway and up. Right.
Well,
Mm.
I mean, for you, Amira, you're 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 definitely not short. You're getting towards the taller end, and
Mhm.
like you said, anything that's over 5'8", that's that's model territory. That's Nomi territory. For those of you who don't know, Nomi is 5'10".
She looks short though. I mean, looking at her, to me she looks stocky and short and cute. But
I've seen videos of her. If you go on her channel, you'll see a videos of her standing when she went on her boat trip, and she's like doing karaoke and standing up on a stage and singing, and that girl looks tall as hell.
what's his name? D-Day says I'm more worried about a woman being too short than tall. Oh.
Yeah, that's there are challenges. I mean, even just holding hands walking down the street,
Hmm.
like I have to basically walk lopsided even to
Mm.
Bent
reach her
over.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like one shoulder is dropped down and the other one's raised up so I can, yeah.
Hold her hand.
Mhm.
Like a child.
She's 5'6", Richard L.
Yep. Oh,
All right,
so
next one. I don't know about this.
Pride of Frankenstein was good. It wasn't as good as the original Frankenstein, but it was still good. I don't know if it goes on the top best ones. This is probably on here for fucking DEI points or
Nostalgia
whatever.
because of Boris Karloff.
Probably because there's a woman in it. Because honestly, Boris Karloff was in Frankenstein also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was it scary though? That's the thing. Is it what you would call a I guess I mean because it's Frankenstein.
It
You
is.
have to
Yeah,
say
it's a horror movie, but it's a continuation of the story. It's just not it's not like there's no it doesn't really have like sequelitis in terms of like we're just basically retelling the same thing. This is like picks up where the last one left off and they continue the story on. So this is more of a part two than it is like a direct sequel kind of thing. But I don't think it's as, you know, scary in that terms. You also have to keep in mind that the era that this was made in, like things have gotten more and more extreme with each passing decade. You know, and this was still pretty early on for those. But for audiences at the time, yeah, I'm sure it was terrifying. Some of the stuff that was in it. I mean, basically, the only reason she exists is because the monster threatens the creator with killing his whole family if he doesn't make him a mate. And that's where she comes in, but she's just as jacked up as he is and horrified at her existence, and all kinds of shenanigans ensue. But
you can tell by the
again,
look on her face. She's like, what the
yeah,
hell?
she's not cool with being alive, and she definitely doesn't want to be, his mate. I mean, there's a whole lot of psychological crap that goes into this too, actually. So, but I don't know. I think I agree with you. I don't know that it should be on the list of best ever made. It was good though.
Richard says, wait a minute, I missed Amira's height. How tall is she? I'm not saying it again. Richard L says 5'6" is not tall. I mean, when you think about women, however, like most women are like 5'5" and under.
Yeah. She's my wife's height, man. My wife is not short. She for a woman, she looks pretty tall.
They did have the thing on this list. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead. Probably won't because that one's kind of niche. I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm not the only one who knows about what it is, but
I know about Pumpkinhead.
I'm gonna go now, okay? Because I'm gonna go eat some food.
Hook it up.
all
I'll
right.
probably
Well,
be back.
thank you
if
for
guys
joining
are-
us.
No, I'll probably come
Oh.
back if you guys are still on, but I need to get some food.
Hook it up.
Okay.
All right.
Well, maybe
bye.
Nomi will be back from her date by then.
I know, right? Can you guys text her, get her back on? So we
Well,
can...
we'll probably hang on afterwards, so we'll let you guys know if we're still on.
or we can meet up after you guys finish your show.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. So here's another one. Halloween.
Halloween is that's just Halloween stands out. And again, John Carpenter, who also composed the score. He does that for most of his movies, by the way. This is a great fucking movie. It's only half a movie. Halloween 2 is the second half, but
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
watch
because
them
that
back
makes
to
sense
back
because it picks up where the first one left off, and then they
immediately.
did that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then they did that stupid season of the witch crap. I don't know why they did that.
I can explain that. Actually, the Halloween series was supposed to be an anthology series. So each movie was going to be a different horror take on the holiday of Halloween. Season of the Witch was the first one that didn't have Michael Myers in it, but it bombed at the box office. And so the execs were like, well, shit, let's just bring Michael Myers back in the next one because the first two Halloweens did very, very well. And that's why Halloween 1 and 2 has both both of them are Michael Myers stories because Carpenter wrote a story that was too big for one movie. So it basically gets split down the middle. That's why you got to watch both of them. But they were going to move on to other stuff after that, which is why Season of the Witch happened. But that didn't pan out box office wise. So they went back to Michael Myers and they've all been Michael Myers ever since.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But
it was
yeah,
great.
initially they were going to do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it was great until Jamie Lee Curtis got her hands firmly on the series. The last two movies were just horrible.
Well, I wouldn't recommend watching anything past Halloween 6 anyway.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I loved Halloween 6, but most people really regard that as the movie that kills the franchise, which is The Curse of Michael Myers.
I don't know. I like the Curse with Michael Myers though.
I did too, but again, among horror buffs, it's generally considered the worst of the original films and the one that kills. Uh, doesn't kill Michael Myers exactly, but just kills the momentum that the series had. Psycho is fantastic, but I'm going to apply the same logic to this that I do to Silence of the Lambs. Does not belong on this list. It belongs
You don't
on a
think
list
so?
of psychological thrillers. No, I don't.
I don't know, man. Now as a kid, I watched Psycho and Psycho 2, and I was pretty damn scared. So
Yeah, it's got scary parts in it, sure, but it. Have you watched it recently?
no,
Okay, do that with adult eyes, and you'll notice that the vast majority of the film takes place in inner monologue. There's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of slow scenes, a lot of scenes
right?
of people talking and stuff. The murder stuff is very brief when it happens. Whenever there's a murder in it, it happens very, very suddenly. The rest of it is about an investigation.
Yeah, yeah. I think
You
two
know,
two was the one that kind of there was certain parts, like I said, as a kid, there were
hmm
certain parts that scared me. But at the age that I
Night
saw it,
Shadow.
nice time, I had no business watching it anyway. But I was I was at the
Oh yeah.
drive-in. I was at the drive-in with people older than me, and I was like, I can't believe they
Mhm.
got me watching this. But okay,
Oh yeah, sure. I get that. I agree with that. I mean, like, little kids shouldn't watch this, not just because of the scary stuff, because there are themes and concepts that are explored in this movie that really don't make sense to someone who doesn't have enough life experience yet. It's an adult movie in not in the sense that it's like risque or anything like that, but in that the themes are adult themes. It talks about embezzlement. It talks about faithfulness. It talks a lot about the psychology of Norman Bates and everything that goes forward from there. Um, but not just his psychology, also Janet Leigh's character. There's a lot of stuff about her that's very complicated, and it's not like it wasn't written for kids.
right?
Um,
None of it was.
yeah. By the way, Janet Leigh, the woman in the picture there, that's Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But
she
you know
was the
what though?
original Scream Queen.
Looking at her face, though, actually, I can see it.
Yep. Yep. So, but it is one of Hitchcock's best movies. It's not. I don't know if it's the best, but it's definitely one of, and it's definitely one of the best psychological thrillers ever made. But again, not a horror movie.
The Exorcist.
Yep, that one definitely belongs on the list.
Yeah, I don't know about it being number two, but yeah,
Oh, there's a
yeah,
lot of fluids in it, so
yeah. By the way, are you gonna go watch the new one that's coming out next month,
probably
or is it
not.
the?
The last couple that they made were fucking awful. So no, I probably won't. Yeah, folks, there is a new Exorcist sequel coming out.
This
I'm gonna
time it's
stick with the original.
yeah. This time it's two possessed girls.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem. I don't. Nothing that is coming out lately just grabs me with like interest.
Well, you
You
know what
know.
I think it is that I used to think that maybe just Hollywood that they got so used to just rehashing stuff that they just
Mhm.
lost their imagination. But I think it's just about money and also they just figure okay, well, we know what works and what doesn't. We'll go ahead and dust this off. But also too, that I found out years ago that movie studios will put out bad movies on purpose because it's a tax write off. Like
Mhm.
the company that made Shrek, they would make four horrible movies in 1 year and get a tax write off for all of them, and then they will
Well,
come out with Shrek, and then Shrek paid paid everybody's salary, and just made the whole year worth it. So it was like pretty much like
Yeah,
instead of them
that's
just
that's common practice though.
yeah.
Yeah. Like Yui Bowles, one of the worst directors on fucking planet Earth. His entire business model is making shitty films and then just collecting money from the tax write-offs. And he uses German tax law to do it.
Yep. So really, I mean, that's when I became more selective about movies that I would go to the theater and watch, and I was like, okay, I know they're putting out bombs on purpose,
Mhm.
so I wouldn't go on opening night. And I've got caught slipping a few times, and Dawn of the Dead was one of the movies that caught me slipping. The other was Identity. Even though I kind of
I
liked that
like
movie,
Identity.
I liked
Identity
Identity.
was good.
I just didn't like the ending. That made
I
me mad.
loved the ending. I
Oh,
loved it.
I'm sure you would.
It was bleak as a motherfucker. It was awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure you would. And let's see, number one. Yeah. Eh,
Mm,
I don't
I'm-
think not over The Exorcist, but The Shining.
no,
You don't
it
think
doesn't
so?
come close to The Exorcist. I
Oh
don't.
no.
I like The Shining, and it's one of the very few Stanley Kubrick movies that I actually do like. But it is a Stanley Kubrick movie, and
I forget why
there
you
are
don't like Stanley Kubrick.
because it's basically 3 hours of not much happening.
Oh, that's good. But
Almost
hey,
every movie that guy's ever done.
well, A Clockwork Orange was great.
I didn't like that one.
I did.
Yeah, no, that was. I had
Especially
an
when Roddy
ex-girlfriend who liked it.
especially when Roddy McDowell's character turned around and he tripped his friends up.
Yeah, see, I just I did not like that movie. I had an ex-girlfriend who loved it, but she also would cover your ears, mom. She would masturbate to videos of faces of death.
What?
Yeah, she was also a massive Doctor Who fan, which is also not my thing. So, she was a weird girl. And it was her favorite movie ever, and I had to watch it like 8,000 times while I was dating her, and I never liked it. It's something about Stanley Kubrick's style. I also did not like the themes of that movie.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much the only one that I'll give a pass to because I like the ghost story aspect of it, and the performances are stand out. But there are long fucking periods where nothing goddamn happens. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not as
I wouldn't
bad as
make it.
2001: A Space Odyssey, but it's still pretty bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it on here. Let's see. So Boa, no Richard Price, Insidious, and Conjuring 1 and 2 were
Nope.
not on here.
They're not doing a lot of modern shit. This is like of all time. So they were covering things from like the 1930s to
No Sixth Sense, and I wouldn't put
yeah.
Sixth Sense on this list anyway.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
Sixth Sense is again. I mean, it's a bit of a. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, sorry, folks. I had to kill something. It was a bug.
Jacob's
YouTube.
Ladder wasn't even on the list, but you guys have to remember, IGN made this list, so it's not.
Yeah,
So
IGN made it. Also, Jacob's Ladder is, while it's a good movie, is a niche film. It's not nearly as well known as you might think.
Yeah, and here's
You
some
know,
upcoming horror movies: Evil Dead Rise, which is already passed;
This
Salem's
is
Lot,
old list.
which is already passed. Did Salem's Lot even come out back in April?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
No, Insidious 5 already came out. The Exorcist, the new one, comes out next month, and I have no idea what Cuckoo is. IGN is dumb. Yes, it is. That's why I'm laughing at this list for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. Direwolf. Yeah. It basically IGN says, "Oh, we were just checking their list to see what they put on it." And obviously, Larry and I disagreed about some of the content that they had on there, and some of it we agreed on, but we think that it maybe should have been in a different ranking. You know, I don't know. IGN's fucking stupid.
Hmm.
They don't know the first thing. I mean, they got some things on there, right? I was really surprised they included the Bela Lugosi Dracula on there and Nosferatu. You know,
Yeah,
that
me
was
too.
cool. But Why the fuck the Blair Witch movie is on there? I guess what a colossal waste of fucking time and money that movie was. And by
Hey,
money, I mean my money when I paid to go see it.
Nomitron's coming back, like right when we've pretty much gone through the.
That's fine. She can come back on and she can plug her stuff, and that's cool. So plus I want to, give her some shit. So about missing all this stuff. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think that if they were going to throw werewolf movies on there, I agree with you that an American Werewolf in London is one of the top 5 werewolf movies ever made. I mean, hands down, it's definitely high on that list. I would have put like The Wolfman on there, 1930, whatever. Maybe if we're talking werewolf movies, maybe The Howling. The first one, just the first one.
Yeah,
Only
the
the first one.
Yeah, the first Howling, and honestly, and that should have been on this list. That first Howling should have been on this list.
Mhm.
Kohai, I would say my number one top horror film is The Exorcist. If I never see it again, I'm fine with that. I will watch The Howling multiple times, and The Howling is those werewolf transformations are no joke, and the way that they be stalking people, yeah. So I'll have to go with the Howling for the simple fact
Mhm.
that just the Exorcist it it puts a chill on my bones. It just does. It makes my back tingle and everything.
Yeah. Hey, Nomi.
Naomi, you're just in
Well,
time to tell everybody what your favorite scary movie is that you would not mind rewatching.
My favorite scary Halloween movie
Yeah.
and me rewatching it again.
Yeah, you missed the entire list that we just put up, the 25 IGN's 25 scares list. We
Okay.
like just fit.
I'm sorry. Okay. I
No,
mean,
no, 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 no. It's not a bad thing. Amira left what? Amira left what? About 10 minutes ago.
yeah, probably less.
Yeah,
well,
less than
bring
that.
her back.
She'll be
Well,
back. She said she was gonna get something to eat.
Okay. Not driving like last time.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, driving and streaming is what she did last time with us. I was
You're
like,
not gonna let that go.
that was just my thing. I was like, why are you doing this? This is dangerous. Please don't do this. I don't
She
like.
had one
I
eyeball.
just met you. I like you as a person. I want you to live. So, yeah. So I don't know. A scary movie. Oh, I mean, I'm actually going to do this over the weekend. I'm going to watch the first Nun because I have movie tickets to see the second Nun on Tuesday. So yeah, because this was my favorite thing growing up in high school with my best friend is watching scary movies. Let's see. Of course, The Conjuring and the Nun movies. Insidious was really good. I don't mind watching that again.
Go back and
What?
watch The Howling, the first one,
Okay.
and
Oh,
American Werewolf. And trust me, you that especially The Howling.
okay. The Howling. I'll have to check it out. I have a list, and yeah, I have a list to do, and movies to watch before or Halloween comes around. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I have going on.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and I'm looking forward to that. In fact, we need to discuss because I know I know October is going to be really good, and I know we were bouncing off some ideas. But Sam actually gave me an idea maybe about 20 minutes ago, and I've always liked cosmic horror, and I've always had an appreciation for Lovecraft, but I've never really dug into the things that guy has done. I have a list of movies that I'm going to go over, but I think that we couldn't go through October, especially with some of the things I like to suggest, and not get into Lovecraft.
yeah. I do love me some Lovecraft. It's a whole thing. I don't know if you can tell, but I got like squid arms.
I could. I mean, I wasn't obvious.
Yeah. I was asking a question here. I saw Wolf with Jack Nicholson one time, and I was a teenager, and I kind of forgot about it. Honestly, it didn't leave that big of an impression. I know there are a lot of people who like it. It smacked of basically a modern remake of an old movie. Is how it felt. And then I do remember watching I think it was in 2012, 2010, something like that, the remake of The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro.
Mhm.
That movie sucks. So
Dang. Hey,
it's fucking awful.
have you checked Orion's Royal Rumble tonight? He got claimed on everything but Ahsoka.
Yeah, I saw it. I was going to worry about that after the stream.
That's a him problem.
Kind of. But as far as the zombies Halloween remakes, frankly, I think Rob Zombie should stick to music videos and stay the fuck out of the movie business. I think he's a terrible movie director. He's an excellent music video director and a pretty solid musician. But he's shit at movies.
I
don't
actually thought that one of his Halloween movies was pretty decent.
I haven't liked anything he's ever done in the movie realm, except for the psychedelic scene in Beavis and Butthead Do America, which he animated and did the music for. Beyond that, yeah, I don't care for most of his movie stuff. So, but again, this is all personal preference and opinions here. So, like, I mean, you like his stuff, but don't tell me that or don't let me tell you that you shouldn't watch it. You should definitely watch what you like. Like you were talking about werewolf movies earlier, and Larry, I think I've told you about the list before. That these are my top 5 werewolf movies of all time. Right there, which I think chat's already seen.
Yeah.
But
Well, those are all outstanding movies. All of them are.
yeah,
The Ginger Snaps, the whole series, and it's dark it breaks your heart because you can really identify with both characters, and then when you see what they go through, just the hardships that they go through, and then being a werewolf on top of it just makes it worse.
Mhm. Beak. Amityville Horror was not on that list. It should have
Nope,
been.
it should have been
It should have been.
Train to Busan, huh? What about Howl, Kohai? Have you ever seen that werewolf movie Howl, where people are stuck on a train and somebody gets bitten and then they all start getting infected?
I don't recall it. No, I haven't seen that at all.
I don't
It's
think
on
I heard
YouTube.
of it.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Howl. It's on YouTube. You can watch it.
Dude, DJ Direwolf, get
Yeah,
the
The
fuck off
Descent.
my brainwave, man. The Descent is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Richard
That's
Elliott,
a
Carrie.
good movie.
But Carrie's not really. Carrie wasn't scary though. I don't understand why people keep saying, "Oh, Carrie was scary."
It's a horror movie in the sense that she gets pushed to a point where she murders her entire town.
She didn't murder the entire town, just the kids.
Damn near at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She
mean, it was
goes on
pretty
a
much.
rampage,
But it was anybody that she perceived as a threat, wasn't it?
which at that point also included the cops who were coming out to fucking find out why the hell the town was burning and people were screaming and bleeding.
Yes.
Carrie's a very dark little movie too. I mean, there's a lot of fucking weird, nasty shit in that movie. It's good, but it's some dark shit. I do prefer the Sissy Spacek version to pretty much any of the. I think there are like 2 remakes and 2 sequels to those remakes.
Hmm.
But the Sissy Spacek version, I think I like the best. But yeah, that's some dark shit.
The way you say that's some dark shit.
That's some
Well, it
dark
is.
shit.
And it's got to be bad for you to say that.
Well, it's. I mean, it's about a girl. She has the psychic powers. We don't know if she came by them like some other way, or if she was born with them, or she's just like a mutant from the X-Men universe and just coming into them with puberty. But her whole life is like, I mean, she's picked on at school by everybody, which, on the one hand, that's a common occurrence. But when she goes home, she gets it threefold from her fucking psychotic mother, who locks her in a closet for stepping out of line with a word. You know,
Beats
I
her,
mean,
does all
it's
kinds of stuff to her.
this is about a very, very abused child who finally breaks. And when Carrie breaks, given her capacity for telekinesis, everything around her breaks, including the people. I mean, it is scary. It's a scary concept.
Like Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, but there's also a bit of a Silence of the Lambs is again like more of a police kind of crime story, in my opinion. I don't believe for a second that belongs on a horror list. Carrie, I would put on a horror list.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm really trying to wrap my head. Now we've got a discussion. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. So you won't have Silence of the Lambs, which is more likely to happen. I'm not saying
That
that there
doesn't
aren't
make
people
it. That
running
doesn't
around.
make it more of a horror movie, though, Larry. You know, because that's like saying that an FBI investigation is more likely to happen.
No, what I'm saying
Yeah,
is just the fact that
The fact of what?
the Silence of the Lambs situation is more likely to happen than a girl losing her mind and using telekinesis to destroy half a town.
but that doesn't have anything to do with the genre. It's
Okay.
not a horror movie. It's a psychological thriller. It's a police procedural.
Yeah, but still, it's just
Horrific shit happens in it. But like, look at the take television for example. What was that show that had Thomas? What's his name in it? It was fuck, now I can't remember. But they were to investigate these awful, awful crimes, like really dark shit. Like some of the cast has quit over the nasty shit that they had the scripts they had to read. But it's a police procedural. You know, horrifying stuff happens in it all the time, but it's not it you know, and it leaves you with this nasty feeling in your gut, like you've got grime on the inside of your skin and you can't scrub it off. But it's not a horror movie. It's not a horror TV show.
we can agree to disagree. I don't, I can understand Silence of the Lambs not being on there. I'm not sure Carrie should be on there. That's just me. If
Well,
it's on
you
there,
know,
it's on there. I mean, I could definitely think of movies that are on that list that I would take off and replace with Carrie. So I'll say that.
Was Annabelle on the list or no?
No,
Annabelle's really good.
Mm.
The Conjuring wasn't on the list.
Oh
I mean,
wow.
pretty much they just put a bunch of the classics on there, but they didn't even. You know, we just had this debate about Carrie. They didn't even have Carrie on there. They left a lot. The Howling wasn't on there.
Mm. How about The Ring? I'm joking. The Ring was stupid.
The Ring's not stupid. It's just not. You could. I like the American version, but you got to watch Ringu.
Mm. Oh, well, Chukchunari, a Japanese movie, but they made it in America, but it sucked in America. But in Japan, it's called One Missed Call, and that one in Japan was really good, but the American version of it was horrible. It's called One Missed Call. Chukchunari.
There was a recent Japanese movie that I was looking into that I haven't seen yet. I think it's called Spiral.
I think I've heard of that one.
And by recent, I mean in the last 10, 15 years or so.
How
I
is
think
that?
well, it's because I don't watch a lot of new stuff. Most of the stuff I watch is decades old.
When scary movies were good back then.
Pretty much, yeah. I think that the advent of things like Saw and Hostel pretty much killed the genre.
Because that's like torture porn.
Yeah, it's not worth watching.
You
know, Boa had a question here. It said, "I Am Legend was made 3 times and nothing." Yeah, pretty much. It's aside from the Will Smith version, the other 2 versions of it are pretty obscure, and one of them had Vincent Price in it. It was called The Last Man on Earth, which I'm sure you know, Boa. And that's the only one of them that I personally think was worth a damn myself. And I liked Omega Man, but it's not great cinema. You know. And the Will Smith version was basically his version of talking to a fucking volleyball for 3 hours.
I disagree with you guys saying that horror movies are no longer scary or not as scary as they used to be. Insidious was extremely freaky to me, and that other movie, Smile. Have you guys seen the new movie Smile?
I liked it.
It was so creepy and scary, and it legit scares you.
Like the oh, you know what movie you need to see, Amira? Talk to Me. It's from Australia. It's really good. And there is one scene, like, scary movies don't scare me. I don't know if anyone knew this or heard the story. Growing up, as a punishment, my grandmother would lock me and my cousins in a room and put on Chucky as a punishment. So scary movies don't affect me. And yeah, so I know how to go through horror, supernatural, scary movies. I'm all for it. But when I saw Talk to Me, there was a certain scene that actually nerved me a lot, and I had to go through it. But I was like, it was a good movie. Like I actually got scared. Yes, it was good. So I liked it a lot. I highly recommend that movie.
It's called Talk to Me. I think I've heard of it.
Mm-hmm. So the premise of it is, it is these teenagers in high school. They discover this like hand, like it's a real hand that was from a psychic or like a witch, and it's a mummified hand. So if you touch the hand and you tell the hand, talk to me, so you're possessed by that spirit that was before you, or the spirit that the hand leads you to. So and they also say, I'll let you in. And then when you say I'll let you in, that spirit or that dead person will control that body and will try to speak to you and like, well, this is who I was, and they'll act it out, and it's very demonic. And
that sounds like
Isn't there a version
a
of that
little
getting ready to
little
come
bit
out?
of sounds like a little bit of necromancy and voodoo mixed in with a monkey's paw.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Huh.
But it was good. I liked it. And then they played around with it too long, and then of course there's this one girl where this one spirit consumed a kid, and the only way they can get away with it and not be completely possessed by the spirit, they have a timer and they have like some sort of ritual. So in order for that spirit to go away, they have to blow out the candle, and you can only be possessed for 1 minute. I believe that's what it was. But there's one dumb girl where the spirit can possess this one other kid, and it was the dead mother of that one girl. So the one girl's like, wait, that's my mom, like I need to talk to her. And like they were talking longer, so she overwent the minutes and they didn't blow out the candle. So the kid survived, but that girl's like, well, my mom is out there, like I need to talk to her and everything. And she did it again with a little kid who just been observing it, wanted to partake, but he's a little kid, and he offered. He's like, well, I want to do it, like I want to partake in this. And that spirit consumed that kid, and now they're suffering the consequences. It was just so good. I liked it. Like I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, but that's the best way to describe it.
You're doing a very terrible job, but I'm enjoying you.
I just really liked it. Like it takes a lot. Like I don't enjoy movies as I used to, but Talk to Me was well created, well written. It did nerve me because it takes a lot for me to like be bothered. But that one scene, I was like, cool. I might have nightmares tonight.
Did you just scare yourself?
No, I mean, I have my Squishmallow to
No, just record yourself doing some ASMR and then go to sleep with it.
Oh, Beak did donate. Thank you, Beak. I had to take a phone call, so I don't have any food, but I have a drink, and I won't choke this time. So I don't know. Like what would you like to hear, Beak? I have chips and salsa.
I hate this so much.
I have my drink with me. I don't know. Beak, what would you like to see for ASMR or hear?
Yeah. In the meantime, he's thinking. Yeah, chips and salsa. Oh damn it!
Okay, I'll be right back.
You should do spaghetti. Do some slurping, like some noodles or pho. Oh my god, eat pho.
Oh, well, the place that I live, we don't have pho restaurants, and I hate it. I've been craving pho for the longest time, and I have to drive an hour and a half to go get some pho. But let's see, ASMR, so I can just drink this.
That's so gross.
So there's that. But let me refill my drink, Beak. Anyone else can contribute as well for ASMR, but let me go get the chips and salsa. Sorry, Samuel.
No, you're not. No, she's not. All right. So while she's doing that, and be like, buddy, you've been with us for a long time. I appreciate you. Please don't do this to me again.
No, Beat, do it again.
Shut up, Larry.
Do it again. Where's Amira at?
She went off camera. She's right there.
Oh.
So one of the things that got brought up in the chat was The Mist. Did you guys see that? The Frank Darabont movie?
Long
No.
time ago. Good movie.
It has one of the darkest, bleakest, most holy shit, what the fuck did I just watch endings in horror that I have ever seen.
Mm.
And you enjoyed it.
I did. It was very, very good. I mean, awful. It was horrible, but it was very good. American movies don't do that so much. They always got to have a happy ending, like, oh, the bad guy gets killed and the final girl gets away, and
It's like you always
know,
ending of the damn story before you watch it. I hate that. Like we always know
Yeah.
who's going to survive, who's going to it's
well, there's a formula to it that sells. That's part of why it does that. But this movie went out of its way to have an ending that really upset people. No. I don't want to tell you what it is in case you go watch it, but it's some dark shit. Oh, Richard says that ending pissed me off. Yeah, it made a lot of people angry and a lot of people sick to their stomachs.
so what okay, just say what happened.
All right, basically this mist rolls around the town. And by the way, for anybody in the chat who has not heard this, there will be spoilers. So just so that's out of the way. This mist rolls into town while a bunch of people are at a supermarket. Very thick, very heavy. And then they start to hear screams out in it. And so everybody gets afraid, so they don't leave. So all these people are trapped in the supermarket, and this mist is everywhere. They can't see anything but it. Then they have some incidents like this. They try to go out the loading dock, and a tentacle comes in and rips a dude apart and then carries him off screaming. So they close that up and nobody believes him. There's a religious zealot lady in there who's saying this is the will of God and we must appease God by blood sacrifice. Yeah, it gets nuts. There are military guys in there, and it comes out that one of them was involved at the base, that they opened up a hole between this world and another world, and things came through, including the mist and a bunch of other shit. And there's all kinds of stuff that happens. There's like spiders with acid webbing, who hatch out of people's chests and shit. And there's all kinds of fucking wild stuff in it. At one point, our main character and his son and 3 others leave. They decide to chance it, and they get out to a vehicle. And Nomi, if you haven't seen The Mist, turn your headphones off. Okay.
Okay, the ending.
All right, so they get away and they're going and going, but eventually they run out of gas and there's still nothing but mist and these things in the mist. At one point, they see a creature that's as big as a skyscraper with tentacles hanging off it, just walking by. So they despair, and they have a gun, and the gun has 4 bullets in it, but there are 5 of them. So the main character agrees to kill the other 4 so they don't have to live, get killed horribly some other way. And then he's going to find some other way to kill himself. and he does it. And one of the other 4, by the way, is his son, his little boy, who wakes up just before he pulls the trigger. So he kills all the people, and then he tries to kill himself with a gun that has no bullets in it, freaks out, jumps out of the car, starts screaming at the mist, saying, "Why don't you take me? Why don't you take me?" And then here comes the U.S. Army with flamethrowers burning the mist away, and survivors with them, and the nightmare is over, and all he had to do was wait 5 fucking minutes.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great ending.
Oh,
That's not a great. It's a jacked up ending.
I would get my money back. I'd be like, give me my money back. I am.
And by the way, The Mist also counts as cosmic horror. Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah, you're right. I am actually irritated now.
Yeah. See, D-Day knows. He knows what it's about.
All that for
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. All
No,
of that for nothing.
Richard.
Well, there's another point too, Carol from The Walking Dead. So there's another character in the early part of the movie who's like, I have to get to my children, who will go with me, and no one does. And she runs off into the mist and they never see her again. She is on the truck full of survivors at the end of the movie with her kids.
I remember that.
She survived. She got to them and she saved them.
Wow.
Which kind of drives that point home. Like, I just murdered my son and 3 other people.
And this
And
is
now I have to live with that because the nightmare is over. Except for me, it will never be over.
yeah. All right.
Yeah,
No,
and he's gonna have to explain what he just did.
yeah. Nomi, are you gonna do your thing now?
Yeah, I can do it. I was just waiting for Samuel.
Catch. I'll mute myself and wait. And listen.
Yeah, me too. I'm muting. It's...
Muting does mean like you can listen. Oh, Samuel laughed. What a weak person. Hi. I forgot, guys. So at work, someone made tres leches cake. So it is a.
Can you just
liquid
hurry
cake.
up and do it? Just
So if
do
anybody
it.
wants to see me eat a tres leches cake, just let it throwing it out there. But yeah.
O sea, lo
so-
vas a hacer o no. O sea, estamos gastando tiempo aquí. Come.
Oye, no me grites, estamos aquí con mis chips. So there's the sound of me opening the bag of my chippies. I will say I did run out of my homemade salsa, so I have green chili dip instead. So just letting you know as well. But yeah. So get ready for.
Apurate.
I gotta give a little razzle dazzle to the audience and just let them know what I'm doing with the chips and salsa. But this is a dip, not a salsa.
Oh, she got to do the sultry look too.
Well, then you should put her on full screen then.
I don't want to.
They're a really good dip.
And there it is.
Here we go. She's messed it up already. You're messing it up.
So on Ryan's stream, I was eating gorditas and tacos and rice, but nothing happened on Ryan's stream. It only happens on Samuel's stream.
Gross.
That was a good one.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay, now what I want you to do, Nomi, is eat it slow to hear the crunch go slowly. Just like.
That's right, Naomi. Make love to the crunch.
You're doing great. Great.
It's like a mirror encouraging over here, like somebody would call a phone sex line.
Doing great.
Directing it.
Go slower.
Oh yeah, keep going, baby.
1-800 Lion is Love.
We want to hear every sound, Nomi. Every sound.
Does anybody want to see me finish the whole bag with this? the
No.
I'll let the chat to decide. Chat, do you want to see me finish the bag? I think, well, this is a pretty expensive bag from Sam's Club. So if you guys can pay, I think I paid like
Why do
$9
I have-
for this bag. So yeah,
What did I?
and then I'll
It's
make
from
more
your club,
salsa.
Sam.
I'll make
How
more
did this-
salsa.
How did it come to this? This didn't even start on my fucking channel.
Yeah.
Zuka's like, make it stop.
Wait, we have to be quiet. We can't hear the sounds. We have to be quiet.
Let's see, D-Day Direwolf says, sure. Midnight Horror's like, no! For the love of Eldritch God. Well, there's only one God that I believe, and he doesn't have technicals.
Wait, here she goes. Here she goes. Everybody be quiet. Shh.
Okay. That's
Did you get your
Yeah.
money? Did Beat get his money's worth yet? Is your $10 up?
Yeah,
I think
Beat,
so. Yeah.
You can't speak for Beat.
That's-
Shut up, Samuel.
No, we're gonna be here all night with you eating that bag. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
Shut up, lady.
Somebody turn on some Barry White.
But that was it,
I
kids.
Yeah, it's like listening to a sibling eat. It makes your fucking toes curl, and not in a good way. Like in a God stop way.
Like your toe knuckles just crack.
Usually wake up because you do your morning stretches. I usually pop my shoulders, but whenever I wake up and I
Oh.
put my feet on the ground, I pop my little toes, curl them in, and then pop them like that.
Somebody like the back crinkle. They want to hear the back crinkling.
Anyone hear the bag crinkling?
Jesus, Richard. What's
Oh
wrong with
wait,
you?
Richard didn't donate. You're not getting anything for free out of this one, Richard. That was a freebie. That one bit of sound.
How did this stream turn into TikTok or Twitch or whatever it is?
Or OnlyFans? You mean OnlyFans?
Yeah. You know
Um,
what?
yeah,
Actually,
I don't
I
know.
think
I remember.
we're at 2.5 hours. It's a good place to end it.
No. Super Soka, in order for me to stop, I'm willing to see that payment. Yeah.
You have to
So
stop.
So I just need to eat more chippies.
So we have to pay to go. We have to pay to stop.
Yeah.
I kind of hate all of you right now.
Happy
But-
Friday.
Where this all happened, I don't know. It was last FNR. R2 the Icky was hosting, and something came up about ASMR, and JV's like, well, why don't you have anything right now? I was like, well, I'm house sitting for someone. I'm like, well, let me look what they have in the fridge, and I found granola and yogurt. And then I did it as a joke for that one little bit. And then your stream last week, I was like, hey, this is what I did. JV really liked it. And JV's like, yeah, keep doing it. And then, lo and behold, Beak, being the kind person that he is, paid for more granola and yogurt. Now, I will use that payment to buy avocados, jalapenos, cilantro. What else do I use? Garlic powder, salt for my salsa. That's what I usually do for my salsa.
Boa, I am streaming tomorrow. I will be streaming tomorrow, so just let you guys know. Get ready.
Okay,
I
I'll come over
think,
there too.
You gonna come
Rachel's
eat
looking
channel too?
I'll just come and just be in the chat unless you know I'm open to do whatever. Oh wait, depending what time, because I'm on MSK's show tomorrow.
I'm usually late. I'll probably be the last show that anybody sees. I like to be the last thing on people's minds before they go to sleep. That's my way of controlling you guys mentally. So that's what I try to do. I try to be the last thing on people's minds before they go to bed. So
You know what, Amira? You actually did come across my mind the other day. I was like, I wish she was here shopping with me because I know she has good fashion sense. I know she'll probably say yes, get the dress. I had to stop myself from getting a dress. And then you had been like, yeah, just buy it.
yeah,
but
but
I needed that support.
yeah, I would help you, but I hate shopping. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay. No,
Yeah.
no, not okay. We can do. I don't know. What can we do for fun?
No, we can do it. We can do it. We can shop, but I just I can't be around like crowded malls or shopping center.
I usually go when there's no one at the mall.
Okay,
The less, the less people, the better. That's
Yeah.
That's how I like to shop.
Yeah, I can handle that. Yeah.
All right. Well, that said, we should probably bring it to a close. We are officially at 2.5 hours right now. So it doesn't. God damn it! No, I'm done. It's gross, Nomi.
But D-Day Direwolf sent me $5, so I'll stop. Thank you, D-Day Direwolf.
Okay. Yeah, if you want more of this stuff, Nomi does streaming on her own channel now.
I do.
So why don't we tell the people about what you're up to?
Me?
Yes.
Well, I'm Nomi without you. I have a newfound appreciation for ASMR. So, oh yeah, by the way, if you guys do want, I'm like just scripting on your show. I have the crinkly bag, but if you want to hear the crinkly bag, you're gonna have to pay for it, Richard. Also, I still have this tres leches cake, and I'm gonna make more salsa. So hit me up on my Twitter at Nomi without you. Just write a tweet, send it at me. I will see it because I see everything on Twitter sometimes. And I will see what I can do to make more lives and not do this on Samuel's channel. But I will be on MSK's show tomorrow. I believe we're starting at 8 Eastern in the evening. But follow me on Twitter and you'll see me repost the time. That's where you'll catch me, guys.
Nice. I did his show last week and we were on for about an hour. So
yeah,
it was, you still, I think you're freezing up a little bit, Nomi.
Can you?
Yep, a little choppy, but I can hear you now. So
Is it better now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
We'll go with that. Amira.
Richard, hey, don't make me tell Larry what you're saying. See, this is the reason why, Richard. I try to defend you, but eventually what's going to end up happening is I'm going to just let Larry just go wild on you. I'm just going to let it happen one day because he's over here talking trash. He says, well, it's hard to be the last thing on our minds when we fall asleep waiting for you, Amira. You know what? You don't got to wait for me. You don't have to wait for me. That's why it's called a recording. You can play it the next day on 2 times if you can't hang. I don't need, this is the thing. I don't need anybody criticizing me on my timing, okay? I'm Arab. You guys know what you guys are getting before you get there, okay? You guys already know what you guys are getting. Ustedes ya saben lo que van a tener. I am brown. We are late. You see that? Anyway.
Yep. There's black people time and then there's Arab time.
And there's Mexican time.
I would say it's brown people time. It's just we are late because why not? So don't criticize me. I will be there tomorrow. I'll be there sometime between 7:30 and 12 at night. I'll be there. I promise. Tomorrow we're gonna do something. So
if you leave I will follow.
Stop it. So tomorrow, guys, I will be doing a stream, and I think it's going to be about women and relationships and politics. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
I'm not. I'm
I
trying
like
to think.
that. No,
You like which?
because there's not enough. There's not enough women out there that talk about politics and relationships, like real women talking about realistic standards in dating and how to date or what to look forward to, what to have when being pursued by someone. So those are good topics to talk about.
What
But
about that? Oh,
I
sorry,
don't
Lisa.
speak about dating because I don't know how to date either. I don't. I've never dated, so I don't really know how that works either. All I know is marriage. So
What about that lady? I think she's a nurse practitioner or something. I can't remember, but she's a Democrat. She's running for office, and she got busted. Apparently, she was doing porn with her husband on some website.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Chatterbait, same thing that Jack Murphy was on.
you guys would
Ooh.
have to send in an article because I wouldn't even begin to know where that is from.
I'll put it on there.
I have a few topics tomorrow also regarding Frederick Douglass. Not Frederick Douglass. Thomas. No. What the hell is his name? Theodore.
Roosevelt.
Yes, Theodore Roosevelt. I have a book of his with all of his famous quotes, and I want to give you a few because one of them was said something like this, and I'll let you guys shut off the channel with this. It said, "The best American citizen is the one that pulls his own weight." Right, the best of us are the ones that pull our own weight, and this is what makes a country or a nation strong or something like that. But I'm going to share a few of his quotes because I think it's very good for us to hear the voices of the past and what they said about a perfect society or a society that's going towards perfection, which we are not. We are falling, and America is basically living on her legacy. We are no longer what we used to be. So anyway, I'll leave it with that. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you so much, Larry, and no for letting me be here today.
Yeah, no
Happy to
problem, no
have
problem.
you.
Thank you, Nomi.
Larry's got some new stuff he's talking about doing too.
Yeah, yeah. So as you guys know, I am creating content. I do have a second channel that is connected to this one. It's called Night Lore. I am writing content for it. I will be giving more details on Netters Network when I'm interviewed by them on September 28th at 8 p.m.
Yep.
Nice.
And as soon as he's ready to share out that link, we will be promoting it here as well.
Peppers.
Yep. Yeah. So that brings it around to me. I am Samuel the Infamous. This is my channel, Samuel the Infamous. Most of you in chat already know that. But for those who come across this later, you can find me here. We do live streams throughout the weekend, Abyssal Musings on Fridays, Screaming into the Void on Saturdays, Star Trek Engage on Sundays. I also do some work on the lady just below me's channel, Amira, the Lioness Exiled channel, where I help out a little bit over there, and you'll find me and Larry both in the chat. And occasionally I bounce around to other places on the internet, and I will announce that as it comes up. That said, thank you all for being here. It's been a great show, except for the ASMR stuff. Just no. Yeah, have a good night. Could always be worse. Nomi could be doing ASMR.
What is it you pray for?